You know, before YouTube fucked it all up, I had the greatest job in the world, opening for Hypnocast every night.
But then we got the call, and YouTube hammered us for Moxie's tits.
So now I'm jobless and broke with nowhere to go.
Your phone ringing.
Oh,
Your
the phone
ringing.
is ringing.
Big boy, come pick up your phone. How you know pick up your phone? Your phone.
Hello, this is the Gopher. Who is it?
Hello, Gopher. The time is now. Hypnocast Season 3 is here, and we want you back.
Holy shit, boys, we are back in business.
That son of a bitch is gonna scream any minute now. Let the show begin.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Probably all agree you can't cut 12-year-old Timmy's cock off.
Yeah. I like how you said cut for like half a second.
Yeah. Well, it's cut and cock, and it came out cuck, and yeah, that's. Whoops! Oh fuck! Oh no! Mistakes were made.
He's been waiting in the shadows patiently.
I just smashed JT the fuck out of this.
Your face is turning red.
Yeah, because I know that the next SNH I'm gonna be fucked.
Oh yeah.
But at least I
with a
won't be
horse
fucked.
cock.
That's an unknown part of the map, so I didn't see it yet. Could I survive if I jump? Nope. Nope. Nope.
America, the greatest country in the world?
No.
Not.
If you were offered a one-way ticket to leave the country, never come back, but it's all expenses paid, would you accept that offer?
I don't think that I would leave. I wouldn't leave either.
Wow.
Oh, I just okay. I did that. I took him with me. Oh shit.
Yo.
It's always the black people holding everybody else down.
Time out. All right. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. Tired of this shit. This communist ass game, whatever. This doesn't want
Somebody
me to play.
else got in. You didn't get in.
Yeah, it's just a lot of racism today. All right. Y'all have fun. I'll just continue to watch and go concede.
Sounds good.
And look at this motherfucker pretending he's gonna watch more Stranger Things.
Yeah, you know he's gonna watch Stranger Things all day. Either that or like some game or something.
Doesn't mean I don't have my phone next to me. You know?
Watching porn.
That's tomorrow. Okay, bye.
MILF Hunters Part 14.
Now, Hypno, I could have hit you with a shuriken. I opted not to because I'm a good friend.
That's fucked up, you liar. You're a liar. You're an absolute liar. You're a liar. I knew it. Never trust white people.
Thank you, and I would have done it. You could have said thank you, but you said like, yeah,
Because I knew you were going to do it. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Hypnocast. That's right. We are live, boys. We are live. We are live. We are live. We're going to dive down the rabbit hole that is known as the internet. But before we do any of that, you got to bring it in close. Listen, they're already trying to run away. They're already trying to look at that. Look at these motherfuckers. They're all trying to run away, boys. Do not let them run away. Look at Mr. Melancholy trying to run away. Look at this, man. You got everybody grab Mr. Melancholy. Drag his ass back here. Drag him back here. Do not let him leave. I see him trying to run away. Drag him right now back this way. We got to hug it out, boys. Listen, I get it. It's a Monday. I know it's a Monday. Bro, back up. No, it's a Monday. Listen, just because this is the worst day of the week doesn't mean we don't hug it out. You understand? We got to hug it out. So get in here. Hurry up. Let's go. What the fuck we wait? Grab these people. Look, okay, somebody got Mr. Melancholy. That's good. Who else is trying to run away? Who else is trying to run away? I see you guys, you bastards. All right, get in here. Go grab these people and listen very closely. If you are watching over on YouTube, like the stream. Like it right now. Right now. If you are watching over on Rumble, like the stream. If you are watching over on Twitter, like the post. And if you are watching anywhere else right now, you're going to end up like Mr. Melancholy, getting felted in every single hole by the bigot army. So like the stream. Don't let it happen to you. Can I get a mic check, please? Mic check, titty check, balls check. What are we checking, boys? What are we checking today? Guys, we got a lot that we got to talk about today. Considering we didn't stream yesterday, we got a lot to catch up on, and we got a bunch of new things to talk about. It looks like Santa Monica Studios is like, you know what? Hey, considering Ghost of Tsushima did it, why can't we do it? Fuck it. Let's make a God of War video game with every character except the actual God of War, because that's going to work out beautifully. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Our stimps are going to buy anything we put out there. It's perfectly fine. Let's make it happen. But what else are we checking, boys? We got a lot we got to check today, man. Fuck Monday's check. I agree, King Dim and Wing. Everybody spam King Dim and Wing emojis to the chat. I agree. Fuck Mondays. But that's okay. We still got to hang out anyway. It's all right. Even though Mondays fucking suck, we're still going to hang out. What else are we checking? Japan kicks censorship as uncensored winning check. That's a long check. That is a long check. Homemade creamy potato soup and homemade rolls check. Very nice. That sounds pretty good. Marathon morons check. Yeah, we're going to talk about that today. Have you got Resident Evil 9 running smoothly yet? No, but we're going to try again tonight, most likely. Not a clue check. Well, there you go. I hate Monday check. I agree. Make Slop get flopped. That should be a t-shirt. Isn't the same... What is that? Fuck. The chat's moving too fast. Isn't it the same as Woman Simulator? I have no idea. I'll remember that, Hypno. Good. Good. That's what you should remember for trying to run away from the hug. Marathon doubling down check. Having a good day today check. Scream 7 check. God of War and Resident Evil 9 sucks check. Cinnamon Roll check. Chocolate Babka check. DMC 4 is good check. Richard What is that? Hold on. Fuck. Richard Gere Gerbil check. Someone needs a new Ayatollah check. What the fuck is a Myrient check? You're going to find out. Hypnotic check. Got the whole week ahead. Need to stop by dispensary tomorrow check. Woman Simulator got a check. Ain't nothing wrong with Mondays. Everything's wrong with Mondays. Everything's wrong with Mondays. All right, guys, listen, our ESC scores are at their maximum. We're fully funded, boys. Like the stream. Let's go. Let's go. It's a brand new month. It's a brand new month. Get hyped, boys. Get hyped. Come on, put the energy out there. Let's do the Bigot Army roll call. Let's see who is in his chat right now hanging out with us on this amazing March. It is March, ladies and gentlemen. It's a brand new month. Come on, boys. Like the stream. Listen, the last couple of months, you guys haven't been liking the stream. All right? You know, we end up, we get like 3,000 to 4,000 viewers every stream, and we end up with like 300 likes. So I just get felted every day. You know what? I don't say much. But goddamn, can we get some likes, boys? Can we get some likes? The donos are nice. Don't get me wrong, but like a like is free. A like is free. It costs nothing. Costs absolutely nothing. Who is here right now hanging out with us today, man? We got Nick Havoc. What's going on, Nick Havoc? How you doing? We got Dark today. We got Mr. Melancholy. This is Sparta 9000. We got Grimlock, Romanizer 24, Captain Killer Guns. We got Air Razor X. We got Dark Dimos, Commander Sonok. We got Joel Jimenez. Guy Caramon is he in the box? He is not in the box. Good. Stay out of the box. Don't go back in the box. We got Oliver Adam. We got, who else is here? Black Tailgate. Marius, Frenchie07, The True Aztec Warrior, Dylan B, Magdi, Felstad, John D, Sarganaris, Final Fantasy Sucks. Hickory Excalibur says, we out here. We out here, boy. We out here, boy. We got PS5 Gamer, Yo Mazir. We got Melody Johnson. Who else? We got Dragon. We got Dark Exile on Rumble. You're hyped because of Death Stranding 2 this month. Yeah, we might be able to get to that game this month. Who knows? We'll see. Kicking Danitz. What's going on, man? Dark Mages. Ron DFK. Everybody look at the hat. Look at the hat. We got Fluffy Murder Machine summoning a demon or something. Matthew Watson. Soul Reaper. We got Raza. Questioning whether or not she's actually here or not. We got Jay Sims. We got Felstep. Sir Spamalot. Dylan B. Yamato 85. Limitless Andre. We got, who else is here? 2K GameCuber. Dark Exile on Rumble. The likers are on Rumble. Hypno, get with the times. That might be fair. That might be fair. Sanikin. We got Pizza Cat Lead. We got Antran. Darkwind 25. Blue Octopus is screaming at the top of her lungs. She's screaming. Joel Jimenez. Gray Soul over on Rumble. Mr. Cougar 9. Katie Astronaut. Who else is here, man? Let me scroll down. Free Jack 95 with the comment over on Rumble. Thank you. Mr. Blue Cthulhu's here. What's going on, Mr. Blue? Adair Soto. Azurane Sword. Still asking me to watch Morbid Metal. We got Ricardo Dawson. Says his notifications didn't go off. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised notifications didn't go off, guys? Do they ever? Very rarely. Very rarely. All right, 4 more people, boys. 4 more people. Then we got to get on with the show. Let's go. Who do we got? Dark Sister Loco playing Assassin's Creed Mirage. Nice. Did you just pick it up on sale with the Ubisoft sale since they're whoring themselves out over on Steam? We got Lucky Boy, Seabro 1138. We got Hanny, Genetic Spore over on Rumble. We got, who else is here? Let me see. Let me scroll down. We got Joker with all the JKs. We got Kurakami over on Rumble. We got Flip Shazam. He may be here. He may not be here. Who knows? We got Saint to Jason lurking. We got Lifer over on Rumble. We got John D again. We got Sam Fisher. Sanguine. And last but not least, we got Vlad Tepesh. We got Torinol on Rumble. I show up and the first words I see are Sailor Hypno. What did I miss? I have no idea. I have no idea. And last but not least, Nitro Buds. Mervoth on Rumble. Alucard. And Kiera Lunar. Jumbie 9. And Dikachu. And Toxin. Because we always got to call Toxin. Sometimes. All right, guys, listen, I called out as many people as I possibly could. Let's sacrifice your fellow Bigot Army member. Let's see who is going to get the final call-out money shot today, boys. It's Monday. Listen, it's the weakest one. All right? It's the weakest one by far, but it's still a money shot, and it's got to count for something. So let's see. Is it Friday yet? No. I wish it was, but it's not. It's not. We got Soul Reaper says no shills, no bad remakes, no scrubs. Booty hole protected by the Phoenix Force. That's pretty strong. Gokaigers, final wave against Uno Reverse, down by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Voice in the water. No Sony. Yes, the Sandfall. Go down by 4. The organism of the day is the Western jack-o'-lantern mushroom. It is a wood-eating fungus that feeds on dead oaks, is non-lethally toxic if eaten, and glows in the dark. I just felt like I fucking started watching Bill Nye the Science Guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop it! Stop!
Holy shit.
Stop! Stop being so desperate for the fucking money shot. Stop! Jesus Christ, man. What the fuck? Oh my God, man. What is with people? I'm telling you, we're going to have to change up the money shot. I'm going to have to turn it into something that people are going to desperately want to fight to not receive. Because apparently we have a lot of swallowers in this chat. And it's insane. It's fucking insane. Oh, God. Congratulations to the Gaming Wolf. You are the recipient of the money shot today.
What the?
It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Like the stream, boys. All right, listen, man. We got a lot we got to talk about today. Here's some of the topics we got lined up, boys. All right, we're going to be talking about Marathon doubling down on Slop. Now, what do we mean by that? Well, apparently, there's been a lot of criticisms with Marathon. And to the developers' credit, they have been listening to a lot of the feedback and implementing changes based on that feedback. But one of the most critical things that people have talked about when it comes to Marathon is their UI. Everybody thinks their UI is absolute trash. They even called it font slop, whatever the fuck that is. Well, apparently, one of the artists or developers behind the UI has come out and stated that there is no way in hell they are changing anything related to the UI, at least from a visual perspective. They called it the sauce. They said they're going to keep the sauce in the UI, and there's no way that they're removing that. So whatever the fuck the sauce means. Anyway, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about God of War, man. God of War conversation is hot right now over on Twitter, and it's not because of the upcoming live-action TV show, because nobody gives a fuck about that thing. What it actually is about is the fact that God of War, there's been rumors that have been circulating. This has been circulating for a while, but recently it's really picked up to the point where a lot of big leakers and figureheads, journalists, everybody like Jason Schreier, all these people are coming out and basically confirming that this is actually in the works and that people are basically being misogynist or bigots or whatever because they don't accept it. Apparently, they're going to be making multiple God of War video games, not featuring Kratos. And people have had some strong opinions about that, myself included. So we're going to talk about that tonight and go over whether or not people will actually want to play a God of War video game without the actual God of War. Because, that makes sense. So we'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about Myrient. Now, for those of you that are asking, what the fuck is Myrient, right? I saw some of you in the chat asking that question. Well, Myrient is a website, and it is shutting down. And the reason why we're talking about Myrient, I've been meaning to talk about this for a couple of days. I haven't had time. The reason why we're talking about Myrient is because Myrient is actually a very important website. It is a website that was housing almost 400 terabytes of video games being preserved, right? And people were utilizing the website to access video games that were being preserved on that site. 400 terabytes worth of video games being preserved, and they are now shutting down because, unfortunately, due to the rising costs of a bunch of nonsense with AI and RAM and all that shit, they can't afford to keep the website afloat anymore. So now the website is going to shut down, and we are going to lose 400 terabytes worth of video game preservation, which is a pretty big story in my opinion. So we're going to go over that, talk about it, and see, what's going on. I know a lot of people are trying to panic donate to this guy to have him keep the website up and whatnot. But, it just goes to show, man, that people won't do anything until they basically have no choice. But in any way, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna see what's going on with all that nonsense and see if there's anything we could potentially do. We're gonna talk about Stellar Blade. We got some Stellar Blade news. We got some High Guard news. We got actually, there's a video game. It's a weird story about I don't even know how to pronounce the game, but it's a weird story involving a video game called Tsukihime Trial Edition floppy disk, which apparently is such a rare item. Only 50 copies ever existed. And somebody bought a piece of that 50 copies, right? Like they bought one of the 50 copies and it was shipped to them overseas. And U.S. Customs apparently destroyed the video game, which is crazy. Like they destroyed one of 50. Anyway, we're going to talk about that. It's a fucking crazy story. We got some Microsoft news if we have time to get to them. And apparently Fruit Ninja Studio Halfbrick has been hit with layoffs. So we're going to talk about that as well. And yeah, that's basically it. The big story today is going to be God of War. So we got a lot we got to talk about, boys. But before we do any of that, man, we got to do the number one segment on YouTube. The number one segment all around the galaxy, guys. Shout out to all you who go the extra step. I appreciate everybody. It's a brand new month. Thank you guys so much for an amazing month last month. Let's see if we can continue the fire that we have. We got a Kickin' Danitz with the one membership starting us off. Shout out to a Kickin' Danitz, man. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. And then following him was King Demon Wing. Everybody spam the King Demon Wing emojis in the chat right now. King Demon Wing dropped a massive 10 membership mega banger. Shout out to King Demon Wing.
Let's fucking go! It's a membership banger!
Dark to Knaves in the chat screaming, more green. More green. Shout out to King Demon Wing. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And considering that is the first one of the stream, you already know what that means. Shout out to King Demon Wing. Thank you so much, my man. Dropping a 10 membership mega banger, continuing the membership train from a Kickin' Danitz. I appreciate that, my man. Raza says, why is there so much gray? Well, because we don't have too many memberships right now. So there's going to be a lot of gray. We also have a lot of new viewers watching. So that's pretty natural, right? There's also a lot of people that their memberships fall off and they don't want to resub on their own. So they wait for somebody else to give a membership. So that's why we have a lot of gray too. Usually at the beginning of every month, we see the biggest drop off in memberships because people's memberships have basically ran out of time. So that tends to happen. Mr. Melancholy with a 2 says Sony wants to go full Disney. Never go full Disney. Shout out to Mr. Melancholy. Appreciate that, my man. We got Monkey Man 04 for 24 months. He finally made it. 24 months, a brand new tier. Look at this guy. Look at this guy, man. Monkey Man 04. Shout out to you, my man. That is insane. What are you now finally? Are you Super Saiyan God now? Is that what you hit? Is that what you hit? Are you Super Saiyan God? It's hard to tell because my screen is very small. I think you are Super Saiyan God. What are the two? Shout out to you, my man. He says 24 months hype. Did you hear about the guy who pregnancy without birth control? He was awarded the Pulitzer Prize. That's 24 months of that. 24 months of that. Crazy, bro. Thank you so much, Monkey Man. Appreciate that. Then for a 2, he says avoided pregnancy. Did you super chat to fix your member chat? You didn't have to do that. I already knew what you were saying. This guy. Shout out to Monkey Man. Thank you for that. We got Soul Reaper for 22 months. What do hillbillies do on Halloween? Pumpkin. Wow, that's dark.
Holy shit.
That is dark. That is dark. Holy shit. 2 more months, my man. 2 more months for you. You got Marius with a 2 late night RE9 today. Hypno. Yeah, I'm gonna try. I don't have it set up, but I'll set it up in a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna try. We're gonna try our best if we get the rest. So there's a brand new NVIDIA driver, right? There's a brand new NVIDIA driver that's dropped today. I have it installed right now. I have no idea if it's stable. People are saying it's fairly stable. Other people are like, it fucked up more stuff. You know, I don't know, man. I have it installed. We're gonna try it. If it doesn't work, well, then it is what it is. Seabrew for 11 months, 2 weeks till MegaCon. Let's go. Hey, nice. Congrats, man. Have a good time over there at MegaCon. Tell everybody, hello for the Bigot Army. Tell everybody hello. Singleton Bit says, to be honest, Hypno, I have watched a bunch of people play RE9, and you were the only one that crashed. That's it, guys. It's been confirmed. My PC sucks. That's it. We watched like 5 to 10 streamers, which means that I'm the only one in the entire world that has crashed, even though when you Google Resident Evil crashes, my specific crash is literally flooding the Google image tab with Resident Evil. So clearly there is a ton of people out there that are experiencing the same problem that I have. But nope, just because our small circle on the internet, I'm one of the only ones that experience crashes, that means it's me. That means it's got to be me, you know? Throw it out. Yeah, it's time to throw it out. Time to throw out the computer. Gonna throw it the fuck out. We're gonna replace the entire computer to play one game. You know, it's unbelievable. Markiplier had a crash during his first episode. Nope, doesn't count. Doesn't count. You got too many Fuda tabs open. I wish it was Fuda tabs, bro. I wish. It's amazing. Anyway, where we at? Hold on, let me catch up. We got Speedy Cake. What a $20 banger, says my, this here Bungie guy could have been greater sometime later. But for now, they'll just cry. And them good old boys playing Halo will cry, saying this will be the day that Bungie will die. Parroting American Pie a little. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. That's a good song, my guy. That's a good song. I appreciate that, Speedy Cake. Thank you so much for that. You're an absolute.
Here we go! Mucha lucha! Mucha lucha! It's the way of life! Mucha lucha!
Appreciate that, my man. And then we got a Kickin' Danitz with a 2 says G4 sucks. Yeah, well, it's not like I'm going to go out and just buy a whole new graphics card for one fucking game. So that's not going to happen. I'm going to have to stick with my 4090. You know, oh, woe is me. Woe is me. My 4090 graphics card, for some reason, can't play Resident Evil 9. Although it can, to be fair. I get like 160 FPS, but that's besides the point. But every other video game in my over 2,000 video game library can, handle it perfectly fine. So I think I'll be okay. I think I'll be fine. What's up, Toasty? How you doing? Everybody shout out to Toasty. What's going on, Toasty? BioT Wolf, 23 months. Yo, he's almost there. He's almost there. BioT Wolf, 23 months, almost there. My bigotry cannot be contained. I have a step ladder because my real ladder left when I was 5. $23 months of that, guys. 23 months of that. That's crazy. Shout out to BioT Wolf. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. All right, let's go over to Rumble. And then we're going to continue with the show. We got Mervoth with $1 says, when did you get some Bonnie Blue mofos wanting the money shot? Some sus behavior. And 1 to 3, better luck this week to increase your SNH record. Still can't believe the madness of Goku versus Superman for donos. Yeah, that was a pretty strong conversation and also battle. Last week's battle was pretty good, man. We had like almost 1,000, I think, in donos for the battle overall. So people were pretty into it. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Not every battle is going to be a huge, $4,000 battle. I don't expect that. That's crazy, if you expect that. But every once in a while, people get heated, and we're making some plans for the next one. So it should be fun. It should be fun. We'll see. All right. Let's continue. Anything else on Rumble? I think we're good though. Yes, we are good. All right. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you so much for the pre-stream support. Appreciate you. We are trying to get to 577 tier 1s in a row and 268 tier 2s in a row. So thank you guys so much. Let's continue and go into the content. Before we do any of that, boys, we got some we got some great news. Okay, we got some great news, guys. So while everybody else is out there wasting their time trying to convince themselves that Marathon is a good game because, you know, it's made from Bungie and they want to desperately own the chuds, I was doing way more important things with my time, which was playing the Mexican Simulator. I mean, Power Washing Simulator 2, boys. Power Washing Simulator 2, you guys are aware I've been playing the shit out of this game. And I am happy to report that after 83.2 hours of power washing, I finally got the 40 out of 40 achievement, boys. That's right. That's right. That is right. I got the 40 out of a 40. I got the 100% achievements for this thing. It's actually kind of funny how that ramped up towards the end. The final level is crazy, by the way. I don't know if you guys have played. Some of you, I know some of you have. But Power Washing Simulator, the final level, it's kind of cool. It turns into this whole like crazy alien story. It's fucking awesome. Or at least I think it's aliens. I don't know. I have no idea. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Definitely a lot of fun. This was a good one. I'm going to, I don't know if I want to go right into Power Washing Simulator 1 because apparently the first game has 100 achievements. This game has 40 and the first game has 100. So I don't know, you know, how that's going to work. But I might try to platinum something else that's different and then go to Power Washing Simulator 1 after that. But yeah, it should be pretty cool, man. It was a lot of fun. So not bad. Beats the game, doesn't know the plot. It doesn't really have a plot. I mean, it kind of does, but not really. But it was really cool. I would show screenshots, but you know, I don't want to spoil anything, so it's fine. There's a painting game like Power Washing. Listen, all I want to know is if there is Vacuum Simulator. Is there Vacuum Simulator? Is there Vacuum Simulator? I'm going to look it up right now. Like, Power Washing Simulator is so satisfying, but I feel like Vacuum Simulator would be even more. There's Robo Vacuum Simulator. I don't want that. I don't want Robo Vacuum Simulator. I want Vacuum Simulator. You know, that's what I want. I want like a power washing game, but with a vacuum. Wouldn't that be cool? I feel like that would be cool. We'll see. Anyway, all right, let's X out of that. We got one more funny thing that I want to show you, and it's the overall hypocrisy of the internet. So as you guys are aware, a lot of liberal white women would tell you that it's really bad for you to sexualize female characters and how, you know, everything being made for the male gaze is bad for some reason, and that, you know, they totally wish that men would be normal. Now, I'm not saying that this woman that I'm about to show you is one of those people. I don't know if she is, don't care if she is, but all I'm saying is the hypocrisy of the internet when it comes to the reaction of females to male characters and then males to female characters. Like, it's so fucking hypocritical. Anyway, here's a totally normal reaction to Leon in Resident Evil 9.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of sexy. Why are we doing this? Why is he strapped on the chair? Oh my god, the things I would do to this man that I cannot say on Twitch.tv for all sorts of reasons. Yeah. Okay, you're not supposed to. You're not allowed to do that. Like, you can't just do that and think that we would stay silent. Okay, you can't just do that and think I'm not gonna react to it in any sort of fucking degenerate way. Like, let's be fucking real now.
Anyway, so that's the whole clip, and you know, just so you're aware, again, I don't know this person, have no idea who this streamer is, and I don't know their beliefs. All I'm using this for is to showcase that women are just as bad on the internet as men, and I'm sick and tired of this entire narrative about how women can't be sexy in game and how it's only for gooners and stuff like that. Meanwhile, you have Daddy Leon over here, and every woman is fucking damping her chair, barely able to play. She can't even stop giggling. Like, you can't even stop giggling. Now, obviously, a lot of it is forced for the stream and everything like that. I get that. But it's like, bro, at what point do we just say, let gooners be gooners? It is what it is. Why the fuck are we moral policing on the internet? You know what I mean? When everybody literally does it. So anyway, I saw this video. I'm like, wow, this is totally normal. Gee, I can only imagine how this would be if this was the other way around. If this was a woman and some guy was like, oh, the things I would do to this woman. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, they would be losing their fucking mind. They would be like, oh, you're only sexualizing her because she's not a real woman. You don't know what a real woman looks like. Blah, you know, it's the same shit, man. Same shit. Genetic Spore over on Rumble for $1 says, be careful what you ask for, Hypno. Bigot Army. There is a leaf blower simulator and robo vacuum simulator. I saw the robo vacuum one. I don't want to play that one. I would play the leaf blower one. There's a leaf blower one. I probably have that already in my library. I haven't even looked. I got to check. Let me check. You said leaf blower? I think I do have this. Fucking Demon Carol probably gifted it to me. Leaf blower. I have Leaf Blower Co. Is that what that is? Leaf Blower Co. It looks like it. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what it is. We got, let me scroll down. Demon Carol. For 16 months, there is a lawn mowing simulator. A nice shout out to your heritage. Yeah, I'm going to have to play that one next. For sure. Trey Burkhalter with a 5 says, for vacuum, power washing, etc., look at Crime Scene Cleaner. Crime Scene Cleaner? But what the fuck? What are these simulator games? Do I have that? Crime Scene. Let me see. Crime Scene. I don't have that. I have Crime Simulator. And I have Crime Boss Rockay City. I have those two games, but I don't have Crime Scene Cleaner. All right, well, there you go. Interesting. Thank you so much, Trey. I appreciate that, brother. I will look into that. All right, let me X out of this stupid video. All right, let's get into the first topic. We're going to do a really quick, fast topic. And let's talk about this apparent video game that got destroyed by U.S. Customs, which, again, it's either Customs or DHL, apparently. They don't know exactly who destroyed it. But it's a very weird story. And I got to admit, I don't know too much about the video game they're talking about. So if anybody in this chat knows anything about this video game, do you know, by all means, please let us know. Rossi says, Crime Scene Cleaner is goated. Is it really goated? Is it really that good? I mean, to be fair, I questioned Power Washing Simulator as well. And then I have 83 hours in that game. So, like, I'm not really questioning it anymore. If you guys say it's goated, I'll believe you. But still, it's like, damn, is it really that good? Raza says it's so good. Is it really that good? Oh, my God. All right, I'm going to have to check that out. All right, so this story is a little bit of a weird one. All right, the headline from Game Rant says, extremely rare 1989 game destroyed by U.S. Customs or DHL. Now, I saw this story the other day, a few days ago. I also saw it going viral on Twitter, which if I could pull up the post, I'll pull it up. But this one was weird because I'm like, what video game are we talking about? Usually I know about a lot of rare video games, but this one I didn't know about. So a video game collector is in total disbelief following reports that a priceless piece of media history was lost during an international delivery. This distressing event involves the total destruction of a 1999 Tsukehime Trial Edition floppy disk, an item so rare that only 50 copies were ever known to exist. Collectors are now still trying to understand how a high-profile item such as Tsukehime Trial Edition could be ruined while in supposed professional care. To understand why this loss is felt so deeply, one must look at the history of the legendary development studio Type Moon. Long before Type Moon became famous for the massive Fate and Stay Night franchise, they were a small independent group of creators selling limited works at Japanese conventions. These early releases are considered vital historical artifacts because they offer a unique glimpse into the studio's humble beginnings and the evolution of their early storytelling. Because these items were produced in such small numbers decades ago, they are now some of the most sought-after items in video game preservation. So if you look at this tweet here, this person says, my Tsukehime Trial Edition finally arrived, one of only 50 copies in the entire world, only to discover that U.S. Customs had removed all of the bubble wrap and physically destroyed the floppy disk. What the fuck? We'll report, but literally crying right now. Bro, how is this possible? How is this possible, bro? Like, okay, so I saw this picture and I'm like, is this on purpose? Or like, how does this level of destruction accidentally happen? Right? Because they tore the fucking thing apart. They literally like tore it apart. How does this happen? Right? So anyway, The story began when a prominent collector, Philip Pang, known online as Kiripo, attempted to import a rare game from Portugal. Upon receiving the package, he discovered that the contents had been utterly ruined. I don't even know how much he paid for this. I can only imagine how much he actually paid for this, but holy shit, I would be doing backflips. Like, and I can't do a backflip, but I swear to God, I would find a way to do a backflip in anger if I found out that one of 50 in the world got destroyed. It's not like you could just go buy another one, motherfuckers. Like, you guys destroyed one of 50. That's insane. And yeah, I agree. It definitely looks like it was on purpose, right? Anyway, so he attempted to import it from Portugal. Upon receiving the package, he discovered that the contents had been utterly ruined. The box itself arrived covered in tape that read open and resealed by customs. What the suggesting that the damage occurred during a mandatory security check. Kiripo shared his misfortune through a video that showed the item torn and twisted beyond any hope of repair. Why would you twist it? Why would you tear it apart? The collector's shock turned his grief as he realized the floppy disk within had been physically sliced into pieces. The magnetic storage material within the disk was cut and the plastic shell was mangled, as if someone had used their bare hands to pull it apart. Kiripo noted that the original sender had taken extreme precautions, wrapping the disk in heavy bubble wrap and thick cardboard to ensure it stayed flat and safe during its trip. Whoever inspected the package had apparently removed all the protection to get the disk itself. While the financial damage is significant, the similar copies were selling at... Oh, shit! Similar copies selling for as much as $16,000 in the past. The loss for gaming history is even greater. This specific build dates back to 1999 Winter Comic Convention, where it sold for only just 100 yen. These discs contain an early version of the Tsukehime story, where many characters and plot points weren't even finalized. Now that one of these 50 copies is gone, preservationists have one fewer valuable visual novel to study. Bro, oh my God. Oh my God. I would backflip, bro. Like, I'm not even kidding, dude. I'm not even kidding. Dude, I'm angry for him. I'm literally angry for him. What the fuck what is the point of this? Why would you do that? Dude, my God, bro. And you know what's even sadder? What's sadder is that they would deny everything. They'd be like, nah, we didn't do anything. We didn't do anything. We didn't do that. We didn't destroy it. Like, we didn't physically mangle your fucking disc. We didn't do any of that. Like, they would deny all of it. And then the question is, like, why? Why would you destroy the disc? Like, did you think there was something on the disc? Like, what the fuck is the point of that? You know, the disc itself was mass-produced, Mr. Data 2 HD floppy with no special branding, making its contents the only way to prove its historical value. Kiripo explained that a friend in Portugal had actually been able to make a digital scan of the disc before it was shipped, confirming its authenticity. While the data exists in digital format, the loss of the physical collector's item is a huge blow, especially since the item was meant to be a physical record of the studio's earliest days. Some speculate that the adult-only label on the packaging might have triggered a customs official to intentionally destroy the media. U.S. law permits the destruction or seizure of obscene materials, though in this case, the artwork was left untouched while the disc was ruined. Kiripo, who had planned to make the disc a centerpiece of Public Type Moon Museum, says he will file a formal report, though he knows the item is irreplaceable. Yeah, I mean, listen, at this point, of course, you could file a report, you could sue, you could do whatever, but there's no bringing this item back. There's no reversing time. There's no remaking another one. There's none of that shit. The item's gone. That's it. They literally destroyed a 1 of 50 for an unknown reason, whatever that reason may be. What was it, like an anime hater or something? Like it? I don't know, bro. An activist? I have no idea. Why would you do this? That's why, like, when I went through this story, I'm like, this is such a weird story, because the question is always going to be why. Why'd you do it? What's the reason? Because you thought it was adult material? Like, what's the reason? The incident is a grim reminder of the risk involved in shipping one-of-a-kind artifacts across borders. Yeah, but how else was he going to be able to get the item? In the future, Kiripo says he would no longer trust shipping companies with such collectibles. If another copy of this trial version ever appears for sale, which hasn't happened in over 15 years, oh my God. Guys, imagine a 15-year journey ending all because of some random psychopath in U.S. Customs destroying your fucking product, bro. Imagine a 15-year quest for a rare item like this where you spend tens of thousands of fucking dollars only for it to end at the hands of some fucking activist or some psycho over at US. Oh my God, bro. I'm fuming. I am fuming. That's crazy. Oh. You know what's crazy? So I read this story and I only read the tweet. I didn't actually read the article because I wanted to save it for the stream. Oh man, I have goosebumps. I have literal goosebumps just thinking if that was me, bro. Oh my God, if that was me, I'd be backflipping. Seriously. Anyway, so he says that he plans to travel in person to collect it. For now, the global count of these historical discs has now officially dropped to 49 copies. Oh my God. And this is why, you know, we're going to talk about Myrient in a second, which is also about game preservation. But this is why it's so important. Like websites like GOG and whatnot are very important because it allows you to preserve video games. And this is something that can't be preserved in this manner in any other way other than this manner. And you're stupid enough to fucking destroy it the way that you did. I mean, look at this. Look at this. This is so obviously not accidental. The person tore the disc apart. Tore it apart. Anyway, so that's the story about the Tsukehime floppy disk. And again, at this point, what do you even say to this? What do you even say to this, other than holy shit, right? It's just crazy. It's a crazy time to be alive, boys. All right, let's X out of that. Let me catch up on supers. Then we're gonna get into the Myrient story because that's gonna kind of follow up on the same thing. We got Kagami with a 50 says the game is a demo of the original VN for Tsukehime. That freaking Tsukehime, the characters that also show up in the Melty Blood games. So it's a demo. Oh wow. But again, 1 of 50 gone. Crazy. Crazy. Thank you, Kagami. Appreciate it. Let me check Rumble. What do we got? Anything? Let me see. Nope. All right, let's continue. Whoever did this should be in jail for destruction of property, straight up. Yeah, I mean, again, I can only imagine the reason they would say it. Like, what is the reason? How do you approach this in any manner that's going to make you look good? I just don't see how that's possible. I really don't. I don't. Because, again, you're talking about, it's not even just the financial loss. I hope he insured it. I'm sure he was smart enough to insure it. But it's not even just the financial loss. It is the historical loss. When you have an item that's that rare in the world, think about how many people in the world, right? Almost 9 billion people in the world. And there was only 50 of these. Okay? So think about the rarity. Think about the fact that it was 15 fucking years since the last one showed up for sale. 15 years, 1-5. Right? Think about that. 15 years since the last one showed up. What's the chances that another one's going to show up for sale anytime soon? And then if it does, what's the chances that he's going to win it? You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those situations where the loss of historical relevance is way grander than the actual monetary loss, in my opinion. But, yeah, I don't know. Melody Johnson says they would claim they thought it had CP on it. That would be a hell of a fucking claim, bro. That would be a hell of a claim, you know? Because it's like, okay, so did you check the disc? Obviously not. Did you throw the floppy disk into a computer that had a floppy drive? Probably not, right? Like, you didn't check a goddamn thing. So I highly doubt that that's going to be able to stick, because if you're going to make the claim of CP being on the floppy disk, then you must be able to check to confirm whether or not that's true before destroying something that's worth over $20,000. You know what I mean? Like, keep in mind, that floppy disk was $16,000 years ago. 15 years ago. So imagine what this shit is worth now, right? So if you're going to make that claim, you better be able to check that shit before you fucking blow it up. But anyway, I thought your potato PC had a flop. Fuck you. They didn't report him, so they can't claim that. True. Exactly. Right. You make a good point. So naturally, if there was some sort of like bad material like that they thought on a floppy disk, they would have to report the guy who's receiving it. They would have to say something, but they clearly didn't. So I don't know, man. I wonder what the response is going to be. I'm sure at some point we might get a response depending on how viral this report goes. Like, this thread is really viral. A lot of this has like, I think, over 10 million views on this thing. So I don't know. We'll see. Inflation is probably even more expensive now. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's probably, if I had to guess, 1 of 50, it's probably like over 30 G's. If it's sold for that much that long ago, it's probably double that, triple that now at this point. It's crazy, man. I just hope he had it insured. That would be really stupid to not have it insured. But I think after a certain point, a certain dollar amount, they kind of force insurance on it, don't they? I hope. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway. All right. We are fully caught up. Thank you guys so much for the support again today. Let's talk about another situation of loss of preservation. And it's about a website called Myrient. Now, this website, again, I don't do like emulators or ROM hacks or anything like that or whatever, but this website is very important to a lot of people. So just because I don't use it doesn't mean I'm not going to talk about it, right? So a massive video game archive with almost 400 terabytes worth of video games is shutting down. Now, this website is called Myrient, okay? It is apparently one of the most impressive gaming archives that are available for PC players, and they announced that it will be shutting down. This non-profit website hosts over 400 terabytes of video game files, making it one of the internet's largest sources of archived gaming data available to both industry historians and gamers on PC with legally owned copies of its video games. In the wake of the industry shifting largely towards digital downloads, subscription services, gamers have long debated the best methods of video game preservation. As digital storefronts become more stacked with new releases, distributors reserve the right to remove older titles from availability at any time. Like most fields rooted in technology, the game industry expands rapidly, and older titles are often left behind when they become unavailable on modern platforms. While remasters, remakes, and retro collections all are valuable ways to keep these titles available to newer returning players, online archives play a major role in ensuring some of the game's rarest and most obscure works are not abandoned or forgotten as other games become available to purchase. Now, we know all this already. Let's continue and figure out what's going on. So, the website Myrient has announced that it'll be shutting its doors on March 31st of 2026. The enormous archive of data, which allows any user to upload copies of their legally owned video games, posted the news to its Telegram page, assuring fans that the website will continue to function until its closure at the end of the month. The site's Discord and Telegram pages will remain functional, serving as a meeting ground for retro enthusiasts and digital archivists to organize their efforts to continue preserving games. Now, they posted a handful of reasons behind the closure. The highest among them is the cost in maintaining the website. Funding and donations have not increased at the same rate as the site's traffic, and Myrient's creator acknowledges that they've been paying $6,000 a month out of pocket to make up the funds needed to keep the site running, something that they admit is not sustainable. The post specifically calls out the rising RAM, SSD, and HDD costs that could be directly attributed to the increased use of AI in the computing world. The impact of the current RAM shortage on the games industry has been extremely significant, and it has increased the cost of hosting a website like Myrient. The site's owner has also mentioned the recent increase in specialized download managers that lock certain features behind unauthorized paywalls, something they strongly condemn as being strictly forbidden. So he's been paying over $6,000 a month in this website. Yeah, and that's just like what he's losing. So just imagine how much it actually costs to run this website. You know, Myrient is only the latest casualty of the current AI boom happening in the tech space, with RAM prices shooting up at unreasonable prices. We already know about that. Studies have shown PC players tend to play older titles more, with the platform often serving as a safe haven for retro games. Archives like Myrient are massively important as they preserve titles that may be deemed profitable or significant enough for major distributors to dedicate space to them. Video games are a labor of love, blah, 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 blah. So, again, at this point, this is yet another example of more preservation being lost as time goes on, 400 terabytes worth of video games for older video games is a lot of games. Okay. That is a lot of fucking video games. A lot of these older video games are barely even a gig, if that. So think about how many games they're actually able to preserve with almost 400 terabytes of space. That's a lot of fucking games, right? So it's just sad, man. It's another example that, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I saw a social media post saying that, you know, people are donating and they're trying to save the website, but realistically, guys, it's just a band-aid. It's just a band-aid. You know, like people will donate when their backs are against the wall and they feel like, you know, they'll throw some money. And sure, this 1 month he might be able to, you know, make enough money to hold the website for like 4 months. But then people are going to slow down. You know, people can't be throwing that kind of money every single month. So it's only a matter of time before it becomes a point where it's hard to host a website again. You know, so it's, yeah, exactly. Band-Aids can only last so long, unfortunately. So, yeah, at this point, very sad to see, but not exactly super shocking, to be honest with you. Tell Elon to buy. Bro, everybody wants Elon to buy everything. It's crazy. Unless there's a donor for like 100K. It doesn't matter, bro. 100K, like how far is 100K going to go? As the costs keep rising every single month, how far is $100,000 going to go? $100,000 might keep the website alive for another year, maybe. If that. And then what? What's going to happen? You got to expect someone to drop another 100 grand again? And then again and again? I don't think it's going to happen. You know? So, it's unfortunate, but unless there was more interest in preserving games, the natural progression of donations are going to stagnate. You know? So, unfortunately, the truth is that many people just don't care enough about preserving games, which is why the money and donations and support for preserving games is not where it needs to be, where eventually it gets to a point where you have so much data that you're hosting almost 400 terabytes. It costs a lot of money, you know, and you're only going to be able to host it for so long. So it sucks, but that's just the truth of it. So anyway, that's another website that's being shut down. So if you are involved in this community whatsoever, you know, I'm sure that's a big blow. That's got to be a big blow to the retro community. Big blow. All right, let's X this out. T-Jap says we are 213.57 away from tier 1. Thank you, T-Jap. Appreciate that, brother. All right, let's continue. I don't think anything came in on Rumble. Let me double check. No, nothing came on Rumble. All right, let me X this out. All right, next story, guys. We're going to talk about High Guard. Let's talk about High Guard a little bit. This should be a fun one. So I saw this post about High Guard, and I was like, what the fuck is this about? Like, this game is dead. You know what I'm saying? This game is absolutely dead. The shills that were shilling for this game have left to Marathon, and they're currently trying to save that game. But this game is dead, right? Like, what's the numbers for High Guard right now? If you go to High Guard, it's got a 24-hour peak of 405 players, okay? So it's 405 people in 24 hours are playing this game concurrently. The game is fucking cooked, right? And you know what's amazing about all this, man? You'll have the people that will tell you online, they'll be like, play the game you love. Don't listen to the haters, right? Play the game that you like. Play the game that you love. All this online discourse is just for clicks and grifting and all that. You know what I love about those people? Two things. Number one, those people are actually not even playing the game, which makes it even funnier, by the way. They're not even playing the game. The same game that they're telling you that you should just play the game if you love it and stop listening to the haters. They're grifters. They're this. The same shills that told you High Guard was amazing and that you listened to them and you started playing High Guard and then you're looking around and you're seeing the player base dwindle. Those same people, they're not playing the game, right? They're playing Arc Raiders or something along those lines. So that's the funny thing. That's number one. Number two, they'll tell you don't listen to the people that are not playing the game and then play the game if you love it. But then the question is, if people are to play the game and not care what other people think, then why are so many people leaving the game? If somebody truly loved this game, if they truly thought this was the best game ever, and they were telling everybody online that, oh, you're grifters, you know, this game is amazing, you don't know what you're talking about. If they truly love this game, why are those people leaving? Why are they leaving? Why are they exiting stage right? And it's because the truth is that a lot of people don't want to play a game that they feel like nobody else is playing, no matter how much they love it, right? So right now you have a couple of diehard high guard players that are trying to play this game and enjoy the game or whatever. That's great. But they're starting to leave more and more and more. And they're not leaving because somebody told them the game was bad. They're leaving because nobody else is playing the game and they want to be where the people are playing. They want to be where the players are at. They want to be where the other people are at. That's more important than anything. And the funny thing is, that's more important the more into streaming that you are. Like if you're a streamer, it's super important. There's a reason why these streamers are not playing Marathon right now, even though they got paid to play it over the weekend. There's a reason why they're not playing High Guard, even though they got paid or were given access or whatever to play High Guard. There's a reason why almost all of them are playing Arc Raiders after a few days of playing these other games. And it's because the people that are watching these kind of games are watching Arc Raiders majority. And they want to follow the people, right? They want to be where the people are. That's natural. I think that's a normal human thing, right? You don't want to go to, let's say you want to go to a club for the evening. You don't want to go to a club that's fucking dead. No matter how amazing people say it is, you rather go to the club that's not as great, but it's fucking booming, that everybody's at. You rather go to the club that's got a ton of people there versus the better supposed club that has like 10 people in there, 9 of which are dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to do that. So again, guys, I just find it all to be pretty hilarious. Now, apparently, the developers are coming out and saying such random things like, "Oh, I wish this, I wish that, I wish the game wasn't like this, like that, whatever." Apparently, one of the developers have said that Wildlight's approach to competitive play leaned into his biggest fears, ultimately contributing to the game's downfall. High Guard has endured a significant fall from grace since its release on January 26, with player numbers plummeting and Tencent pulling funding, and it seems some developers had concerns before launch. I highly doubt that even if they had concern, they probably didn't even voice it, because unfortunately, with toxic positivity environments, they don't voice it. Like, just think about what was that guy's name? Josh? That guy who wrote that long article about like how it's the YouTuber's fault as to why the game is dead, and it's the negative conversation around the video game, and that's why the game died and all that stuff. Anyway, you mean to tell me that a guy like that who was working over there at High Guard, you mean to tell me that you were going to be able to tell people like that there was things wrong with the game? I highly doubt that, bro. It's very clear from what he told us. He said that everybody told them they had a hit on their hands. Everybody told them the game was amazing. Everybody told them that they keep going. This is going to be the next big game. Toxic positivity was running rampant over at Wildlight. I highly doubt anybody spoke up about something wrong with the game or any concerns whatsoever. Highly doubt it. But anyway, so he says, I can only speak to my side of the things as level designer, but when I joined Wildlight, I was trying to figure out this new ambitious game, and this team is always pushing the boundaries. You don't strive to create something that doesn't work out, but it happens, unfortunately. Throughout development, we really leaned into the competitive side of it, and that was always one of my biggest fears as a player. 3v3 duos is always the sweatiest version of anything like Battle Royale. Objective modes, wingman, you know it, you name it. It requires such a high intensity of communication with your team and team play that it doesn't leave much room for casualness. I think that was the biggest thing that turned a lot of players off of High Guard. No, it wasn't. Like, literally, no, it wasn't. This literally, no, it was not. This game, there were so many things wrong with this game that the 3v3 was the least of most people's concerns. Actually, the funny thing is 3v3 was a problem only because your gameplay design made it a problem. You had such massive maps where you really should have made it 5v5 from the beginning, and it still could have been sweaty, but you decided to make it 3v3, so people got bored. The game modes were not that fun. Well, to be fair, there was only one game mode, but I'm talking like the different phases was not fun for most people. People just got bored. That's what it is. Like, nobody's going to want to be competitive in a game that nobody's playing. It's the same thing we said before. Just like people want to play the game that other people are playing, they're not going to want to play competitively in a game that nobody's playing. So you having a 3v3 mode or a 3v3 ranked mode doesn't mean a fucking thing when you got 400 concurrent players playing the game. It doesn't mean a thing. You know? I can't get over how many people actually downloaded this game and checked out on their own. And I think that these developers don't want to admit that happened, but it did. It did, right? Like people You got to remember, there was over 1 million downloads on Steam for Highguard. 1 million downloads on Steam. And now you have 400 concurrent players. So like 98%, 99% of players checked out of your game. All on their own. They didn't download the game and then read a bad review and said, oh, never mind, and then uninstalled the game. That didn't happen. They downloaded the game because it was free to play, so there was no initial cost for them, and they checked out the game on their own, and they realized it just wasn't for them. And then they uninstalled the game. You know? 1 million, yeah. Yeah. Almost 1 million players downloaded this game. People tend to forget that the concurrent number on Steam is not the total amount of players. You guys have to extrapolate those numbers, right? Because it's only the amount of players at any one given time. So if this game had almost 100,000 concurrent players at any one given time, then that means there was hundreds of thousands, if not 1 million people playing the game over the course of a couple of weeks. They were just coming in and out of the game. So some people would download it, play the game, leave. Download it, play the game, leave. And then it adds up. It just never added up to the point where it could ever match this number ever again. As you can see here, the owner estimations, the amount of people that have it in their account, anywhere between 900,000 and 1.3 million. So I'm going to safely say 1 million players downloaded this game and gave up on it. Again, look at the numbers. There's 77 people watching somebody play Highguard right now on Twitch with a 24-hour peak of 129. 2 months ago, 377,000 was the all-time peak, right? Let's look at Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders right now on Twitch, they still have 100,000 people watching this game. They hit an all-time peak 9 days ago. 9. Bro, this game came out 4 months ago, and it's still peaking in viewership. 400,000 people 9 days ago. Right? Look at this. 24-hour peak. People left Marathon to come back to Arc Raiders. Now it's back at 252,000. The number keeps going up. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at the Marathon Server Slam, I think it's over, right? Yeah, I think it's over. They got to a 24-hour peak of around 54,000. So I think it's safe to say that my estimations of what this game is going to do concurrently is probably going to be around I'm still saying 70 some odd thousand. I think we could get to 70. I think we can. 70 to 75,000 has always been my guess. But 54,000 is where they ended at 24-hour peak. So they lost 100,000 players over the course of a few days. But they still have a decent player base, a hell of a lot better than Highguard. And if these people actually buy the game, they will be in a better position than Highguard ever was. You know? Let's see. If we go to Marathon, let's see. Marathon. Number 3 in the top sellers, which, again, that's pretty easy to do when nothing else is currently coming out aside from Resident Evil Requiem, which is obviously number 1. They did gain a bunch of followers, but they kind of stagnated a little bit. They're at 84,000. Number 32 in the top wish list right now, but look at the Twitch stats. They dropped to 27,000 in a 24-hour peak. There's 327 right now because, well, nobody could play the game, right? And 11 months ago, they hit 518,000. So, again, guys, this is just pretty damn funny overall. And to try to make it seem as if, oh, it's because of the sweats. It's because we focus too much on competitive play. That's why this game died. That's why Highguard died. Like, no, that's not why Highguard died at all. Highguard died because it was boring. And nobody wanted to play the game. That's the reason why the game died. The Guada says we're at 226 likes. Guys, let's get the likes up. Over 200 of you are hate watchers. It's kind of weird. Not going to lie to you. But definitely try to like the stream to the best of your ability. I know it's hard. You just got to pick up your thumb. You just got to raise it. You got to raise it. It's heavy. Pick up the thumb and just press the press the like. There you go. Boom. Done. Easy. All right, let's get to the next one, boys. Let's get to the next one. The font slot merchant says he won't change the UI. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that today. Let me X this out. Stellar Blade. We got Stellar Blade news, guys. Stellar Blade apparently is going to be, and not by Stellar Blade, I mean Shift Up, but anyway. Shift Up apparently is going to be expanding their self-publishing plans, which I feel like is a good thing because it will get them out from under the wing of Sony, which I feel like Sony's looking at Stellar Blade just dying to make changes. They're looking at this like, we need to make this for the modern audience. Please shift up. Let us do it. They're like, nope. The studio behind Stellar Blade is increasing its focus on self-publishing future projects. New job listings on the company's website cite a desire to expand the studio's self-publishing capabilities in an effort to support internally developed titles across console and PC platforms. I really hope they do it. I swear. I hope they get the fuck away from Sony ASAP. Get away from Sony. Leave them behind and do your own thing. You don't need Sony anymore. You don't need them. You are more than capable of doing it yourself. Apparently, they're hiring for communications manager, creative lead, marketing manager, and they're seeking somebody with 5 years of experience in the gaming industry. Shift Up also wants a candidate with prior self-publishing experience. It's also stated that those with a passion for video games and those who have secured the Platinum Trophy in Stellar Blade will be... Oh, shit! Yo, that is funny. Wait. Those with a passion for video games and those who have secured the Platinum Trophy in Stellar Blade will be among the preferred candidates. Bro, you guys have to get the if those of you that have Platinum and Stellar Blade, go apply for the job right now. Go apply right now. That'd be amazing. What? That's sick. That reminds me of what was it? Palworld? Palworld, the Pocket Pair Publishing, they do the same thing, by the way. Pocket Pair will not hire you unless you have a Steam account that is fairly active. If you don't have a Steam account, they don't hire you. If you have a level 0 Steam account, they don't fuck with you. And it's amazing how all the Asian studios are doing this. It's like, oh, they actually want real gamers? No way. Wow, shocker. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, obviously you should have real gamers in here. You know? Kira Lunar says, I have all the achievements, but I'm not fit for the job. You absolutely are. You absolutely are. Go apply for the job. Let's go. Apply for the job. Everybody who's got the Platinum, apply for the job right now. You never know. Exactly. No tourists. Yeah, big time. I still got to go back and get the Platinum for Stellar Blade. I just know that's going to be such an undertaking. I need to dedicate like another 100 hours to the game. But I'm going to make it happen eventually. Would it expanding to other branches make them more vulnerable to modern audience attacks? Not necessarily. No, if they're self-publishing, that means they're the ones in charge of their own publishing. That means they designed the game the way they want to design it. They do everything the way they want to do it, and they publish it on their own. They're not going to go... Just because they leave Sony doesn't mean they're going to go to other publishers. The entire point is for them to publish their own games. You know? Which leaves them independently free, basically. Dylan B says, don't have Stellar Blade yet, unfortunately. You got to get it. Merdvault for the $1 and Rumble says Platinum Trophy for Stellar Blade equals journal proof. Very smart. It'll be the future. To be fair, it doesn't take much to be journal proof. You know what I mean? Because most journals barely even get past the first couple of chapters, let alone are worried about actually farming achievements, right? Like, I feel like that's pretty fair to say. So it doesn't take much. All right, let's X out of this. I thought that was pretty funny. Let's go into another crazy story. So I saw this on Twitter and I was like, what the fuck is this about? Apparently, a UK games collector got raided by the police after purchasing 10,000 worth of hardware, including old developer kits that were disposed of by Sega, which is a crazy story. It's another preservation story, which, again, it's so crazy how preservation is being attacked. But we have another one. So preserving video game history is no easy feat. Besides the ephemeral nature of digital downloads these days, a significant obstacle over the decades has been the interest of corporate entities as they seek to protect their intellectual property. For example, a London-based collector was raided by the police last year after he purchased developer kits reportedly marked for disposal during a Sega UK office clearout. The collector purchased a hardware lot from an e-waste subcontractor for $10,000. This included developer kits, controllers, autographed copies of games, and even prototype cartridges. Sometime after listing parts of the find for sale online, UK police then raided his property, alleging that the Sega developer kits had been stolen. Oh my God, bro. What? Are you fucking born stupid? Like, what the hell is this? Secret Final Boss, don't you have the Platinum Trophy and Celebrate Hypnotic? You don't? Get on that. I need to get on that. I need to absolutely get on that. Thank you for the 5, brother. I appreciate that. I do plan to. So apparently, according to his recount of the raid to Gamers Nexus, he said 7 o'clock in the morning, approximately bang, bang on the door. I look through the peephole and I see a bunch of police, probably 4 or 5 police officers. I open the door and I'm told, Mr. Khan, you're under arrest for money laundering. We're here to seize developer kits. Oh my God, bro. What? Even though Khan has yet to be charged with a criminal offense, this case is both strange and concerning. So let's rewind. When Sega moved its UK head office from Brentwood to Chiswick, London last year, it hired an e-waste company, Waste to Wonder, to dispose of hardware that was left behind in the old office building. This company hired a subcontractor that then took the lot, which contained developer kits and more, besides to an export yard that processes waste to be sold to various buyers across Africa. Darius Khan negotiated a deal with the e-waste subcontractor to buy the discarded hardware before it could be processed. Darius began listing parts on the find on both eBay and Facebook Marketplace, which included Sony PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, as well as a Nintendo DSi and Wii U developer kits. The Video Game Preservation Museum also started an online fundraising campaign to purchase the lot. Though not yet confirmed, it's likely these online listings and fundraiser are what drew legal action. Darius was also contacted by a man using the name Paul, who claimed to be interested in the dev kits he had for sale. This man was actually a private investigator working for Fusion 85, an agency that specializes in protecting intellectual property. Oh my God, bro. What in the fucking Mission Impossible am I dealing with here? What the fuck is holy shit? We got private investigators in this shit now. What's happening? An agency that has worked with Nintendo? Oh, of course, bro. Of course, we got Nintendo tied to this agency somehow. Of course. Fucking ninjas, man. Nintendo sent their ninjas on the behalf of Sega. They're like, Sega, don't worry, we got you. Sega was like, hey, do you have any like private investigator ninjas we could send out? Nintendo's like, yeah, I got hundreds of them. Anyway, the agency has worked with Nintendo in the past, though it has not been confirmed who Fusion 85 were working for with regard to investigating the developer kits. Paul visited Darius's home to inspect and take photographs of the hardware before going quiet. Then in July 2025, 10 plainclothes police officers knock on Darius' door and knock it down. The officers confiscated the dev kits and prototype cartridges from Darius' home, but left other hardware bits such as controllers and cables. Darius was then held by police for 8 hours, during which Khan alleges police asked him to sign a form relinquishing his ownership of the dev kits. Why the fuck would he do that? Why would he? Bro, get out of here with this UK fucking... Are you serious? Get the fuck out of here. Relinquishing ownership of the developer kits? No, he bought them. Fair and square. I'm glad he refused, because I'd be like, fuck you, bro. Absolutely not. This is really sus, dude. I feel like somebody, maybe like, it could be Sega, it could be, who knows, but somebody is out here trying to pull some sussy-wussy shit and using the police to do it. Hiring a private investigator and then getting the fucking guy raided and then trying to make him sign something. By the way, isn't it, again, I don't know how it is in the UK, but I'm almost positive that in the US, you cannot sign anything under duress. Meaning like you can't be forced to sign something when you're literally being fucking held hostage by the police, especially if it's something that's going to give up, either property or your rights or something like that. Like you can easily argue that you were signing something out of fear of your life or duress or something like that. But I guess in the UK, that must be allowed. I don't know. That's fucking weird. That is insanity, bro. They make up the laws as they go along. Yeah, I guess that's right. It has since emerged that Sega had hired another firm, ITR Secure, to specifically dispose of its computer hardware. Still, sources tell the Daily Mail that the on-site manager had instructed Waste to Wonder workers to clear out everything, including the developer kits. Waste to Wonder denies any wrongdoing. Speaking to the Daily Mail, managing director of Waste to Wonder, Michael Amos, says its equipment was not in scope and we never allowed subcontractors to sell items. We no longer work with that subcontractor. This tangled legal case is still ongoing and it's not yet clear who, if anyone, will be charged. The fate of this seized developer kits still remain unknown. Arguably, Sega should have returned these dev kits to their respective manufacturers when they were no longer needed. Instead, the company seemingly lacks inventory management and e-waste disposal practices have proved a costly mistake. Again, if you're going to go through all this trouble, if you're going to go through literally all this trouble of finding somebody who purchased your dev kits or whatever, why the fuck would you just use a regular old waste management company to get rid of these dev kits? Why don't you specifically destroy them yourselves or figure out a way that you can ensure they get destroyed for whatever reason you want to destroy them? Otherwise, if you're going to go this hard to chase after someone and get the cops involved, to get private investigators involved, and get the guy to try to sign something to relinquish ownership and all this crazy shit, you clearly know that he legally owns those items if you're trying to get him to sign something saying he no longer owns those items. Because otherwise, you then have to admit that you're stealing it from him, which is why you wanted him to sign it in the first place. Bro, this is crazy work. All of this over Sega dev kits. That is crazy. That is crazy work. It makes you wonder what's got to be on those dev kits. Like, why do you care this much? Why are you going this crazy over your dev kits? I don't know. It's interesting. Interesting. So I honestly am going to follow up on this story whenever we get more information. If we get more information, I can't wait to see what happens. Like, I really want to know whether or not he's going to keep the items or if they're going to steal it from him. Because if he's not going to sign them over, that means they have to prove that they have a right to those dev kits, even though he purchased it for the amount of money that he did. So, I don't know. We'll see. It's modern day UK. Yeah, it sounds about right. Sounds about right. Hey, we got Karnak Ketrel dropping a much-needed banger over on Rumble with the 5 membership bet.
Let's fucking go! It's a membership banger!
Thank you so much, Karnak Ketrel, with the 5 memberships, brother. I appreciate that. Much needed. Janarthis for 10 months of legendary status. It's kind of a fresh air that studio is listening to players and not bending the knee in fear of bad PR. Yeah, I mean, listen, I give credit where credit's due. At least they are listening in some regards, but they're not listening in others. So, but we'll talk about it anyway. The UK is cooked. The UK is done. Gaming Delusion says, I have 14 dev kits collected over the years. That's awesome, bro. That is awesome. I've always wanted to collect like older fucking consoles and dev kits and shit like that. But again, the amount of money that they want for these things are insane. They're insane. So I don't know which ones you have, but congrats to you, man. That's badass. I'm happy for you, brother. All right, let's get out of this. We're fully caught up on everything. Let's continue. A really quick story, guys. Remember how we said slop is becoming the new word for everything? We got Marathon doing font slop, right? Well, apparently some people get their panties in a twist at the word slop. And by some people, we mean one of the richest companies in the world. And that's none other than Microsoft. Microsoft got their panties in a twist so much that they decided to ban the word microslop in its Copilot Discord server and then began restricting access after users started posting microslop in other funny messages. Guys, how are you one of the richest companies in the world and you're getting felted by a fucking word, my guy? You sound like Marathon censoring the word Arc Raiders in their video game and then trying to pretend like it doesn't bother you. So then you unban the word, but then you reban certain parts of the word. It's like, what are we doing, bro? They're baby soft? Yeah. All of it over the word microslop, bro. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, seriously? Anyway. So I thought that was pretty funny. Not gonna lie to you. I just wanted to share that story with you. So if you guys are in that Discord server, make sure to let them know about microslop. Should be pretty damn fun. So in terms of changes to Marathon, you know, we talked about how the Marathon developers are listening in some aspects, which is very good. That's what you want to do. You want to listen to the feedback from your server slam, and you want to make changes accordingly that are going to make your players happy so that you maintain your player base going into your actual release. It's a good thing. However, Marathon, there are some people that are at Marathon, like the UI designer, for example. He declared himself the font slop merchant. So I guess he is just running with it at this point. And he has promised that Bungie will never remove the sauce from the UI, basically saying that, you know, the ugly ass UI that's in Marathon, that's not going anywhere because, you know, he loves it or they love it or something along those lines, I suppose. Bungie is listening to your feedback, but Marathon's UI is apparently weird on purpose, which I guess you can kind of say makes sense considering that the game itself is weird. The characters are weird. They're ugly as fuck, right? Like, I guess it makes sense. But it's also like, all right, I get that you're trying to be weird. I get that you're trying to do things differently or whatever. But there has to be a certain cap to it, right? There has to be a certain limit. Because if you just go all weird, well, then you end up with shit like this that people think is ugly as fuck to look at. I think it's in your best interest to perhaps maybe simplify the UI a little bit or make it a little bit easier to digest, because looking at it, it looks like somebody vomited on the screen. You know? Last week, one of the most circulated reactions to the Marathon Server Slam was a YouTuber who took one of the look at the menus and declared it the first ever font slop game. He wasn't the only one who felt their eyes were assaulted by Marathon's unorthodox graphic design. UI feedback was one of Bungie's major takeaways from the weekend Server Slam. Keep it coming, the Bungie account said on X. But don't expect Marathon's gritty Linux core look to go anywhere. At least not if Elliot Gray, a UI designer who has proudly declared himself a font slop merchant in his X bio, has any say over this. Gray is also listening to your feedback about Marathon's menus and agrees that there's room for improvement, but he made one thing very clear. Don't think for a second that we're going to remove the sauce from the UI. Gray wrote on X today, concluding with a hashtag FlontSlop takeover hashtag. All jokes aside, there's plenty of work we can and will do as a team to respond to player feedback about inventory management, navigation, density of info, etc. So again, they're going to listen in the terms of like the functionality, but they're not going to be listening most likely in terms of the visual design, which I think a lot of people are probably going to be upset about, because the visual design is one of the biggest criticisms people have. Again, not just of the UI, but also the video game in general. By trying to ignore that, I think you realize that you're going to piss off a lot of people. And again, I think Marathon held about 1/3 of its numbers from the Server Slam if you're looking at concurrent numbers. And I feel like that's a decent enough number to start with. If all those people buy the game, which again, I don't know if they will, but I'm estimating anywhere between 70 to 75,000 concurrent on Steam. Right now they ended at about 54,000 concurrent on Steam. So, you know, if they get a decent amount of players, I would hope that they listen to them. Otherwise, you're going to end up in a Ubisoft situation where X Defiant was such a massive hit when it first came out. We're talking about tens of millions of players downloading the game and trying the game. Tens of millions of players. That is a massive player base that they could have utilized to try to monetize and try to pitch them a good game and everything like that. But they gave up tens of millions of players, and they ended up with about 20,000 players across all platforms before they announced their shutdown. They lost tens of millions of players. So I would hope that these people are not stupid enough to be like, well, if you don't like the way the game looks, then go fuck yourself. You know, I don't really think that you have that capability right now. Considering that, to be quite frank with you, you don't have that many players. Like, you have a decent player base, but as we've seen with Bungie games, they will die very quickly if the players don't get what they want. So, I don't know. We'll see. Yomizer says, hey, at least now Bungie will work on Destiny 3. Yeah, I doubt that. I doubt that. They want Marathon to win so bad because this is going to be their live service, hit. This is going to be the game that's going to give them all the money in the world. They're hoping that this game is the one that lasts forever. I don't really think they're focused on Destiny 3 anytime soon, man. I'm sorry. You think they're arrogant? I mean, every developer is arrogant at this point, it seems, almost. Is he wearing earrings? I have no idea. And I don't care, to be honest with you. It's nice to gather feedback and all, but in this case, the folks saying PU to Marathon's menus have bad taste. The UI has practical problems, without a doubt. Inventory sorting, etc., but it all looks breathtaking. So according to this journalist, this looks breathtaking. According to the journalist, this UI looks breathtaking. This is just the most beautiful thing that they've ever seen in terms of a UI. According to the you gotta love the journalist, man. You have to love them. This is just gorgeous. I reckon the reaction to the style has been so weirdly extreme because the art of graphic design has been sapped out of big budget games, especially in multiplayer shooters for a decade plus. Everything is not instantly recognizable, so it's bad. There is more to absorb on screen and then a grid of rectangles. So it's too much. Gamers are not used to seasoning their food. Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your fucking mind, bro? Are you out of your fucking mind? What are you talking about? We've had video games that have given us an insane amount of detail in their UI and in their menus. But this shit, you can't even tell what half this shit is. Like, you could keep the same color scheme and all that, but like, how do you know? How do you know what's a health item? How do you know what's a shield item? Like, I could see what a gun is, obviously, but anyway, these people, they think seasoning means adding every single season and hoping it stick. You can't just throw in every season and then think it's gonna taste good, because that's what you're doing with this. You're throwing in every fucking season and you're adding mayo to it. It's like, what are you doing? And then you threw in mustard, and then you threw in ketchup. It's like you're adding all this shit and you're not even, what? It doesn't mesh well. Anyway, I can't believe he said that. That's actually kind of hilarious. That gamers are not used to seasoning their food. Wow, that's an interesting comment. Who wrote that? Morgan Park. Yeah, you definitely look like somebody who seasons his food. Yeah, sure. I believe that. I'm sure everybody in the chat believes that as well. All right, boys. We're going to skip the Fruit Ninja story because I don't really think people care too much about it, and we need all the time that we can get to talk about God of War. We're going to be talking about God of War. It's going to be a good time. We're on the final topic of the evening. We're nowhere near tier 1, but that's okay. Adair Soto with a 10 says, and they said that the UK is a democracy. We care about our citizens. Sure, they do. You're letting a corporation threaten your citizen to sign a contract to give away his kits of a corporation. Yeah, I gotta honestly, I gotta be real with you. I think the weirdest part about that is the desperate attempt to make him sign away his rights to his items. That tells me that they know that they're stealing it, so they need something to legally back them up. Otherwise, they don't have anything. So now it's got to just stay in storage until the legal battle's fought out. But then you got to think, okay, well, if it's in storage, how do you know it's going to be protected? How do you know it's not going to be stolen? How do you know it's not going to be damaged? You know what I'm saying? How do you know that Sega's not going to pay off some fucking dirty cop to destroy everything in their own, how do you know? How do you know? You don't know. So, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. Hey, Sonia, what's up, Sonia? How you doing? Toradol with $1 breathtaking is like an asthma attack. They clearly lack a product manager who curates these sort of things. Exactly. 100%. 100%. Actually, before we get into the God of War story, I want to just check something really quick. And it's totally not an excuse for me to set up the Resident Evil stream that I totally forgot to set up. But I never got to look at the new Pokemon Waves and Winds trailer. I never got to look at it. I've been trying to look at it for days, and I never got to look at it. And people have been telling me it's slop. So I figure we could take a look at it while I'm setting up the Resident Evil stream, and then we'll do the God of War story after that. So let's take a look at this and see what we got. Hold on, before we do, man, Gaming Delusions with a 10-banger. The rarest that I could mention is a Net Yaroze N64 DD prototype, Sega Pluto prototype, and a PS5 dev kit pizza station for doing PSVR 2 testing about 2 years before release. Bro, you got insane levels of kits, bro. That's crazy. Shout out to Gaming Delusions, man. That's awesome, bro. Holy shit. That is strong. Especially the Sega Pluto prototype. That's crazy, bro. Nice one. Raptor Kratos with a 5 seasoning. The same white people who around the 7 Seas stealing seasoning and never using it, but okay, seasoning. And then he puts the brown thumbs up emoji, which is even funnier. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate that. All right, we are caught up everywhere. We're gonna play this trailer. In the meantime, I'm gonna watch it and listen while also setting up the Resident Evil stream, and then we're gonna do God of War after this. That's the big story. All right, here we go. so gay. I'm gonna lower the music a little bit. I swear, every Pokemon advertisement has to be cozy. Like it always just has to be cozy. That's just how they that's how they sell it every single time. It's got to be cozy. Here it comes. The millennial player ready to spend $70 all over again on the same fucking thing. Oh man. Oh man, you know what I saw on social media? I saw on Twitter, and I'm sure it was rage bait, okay? Like, I want to be very clear. I'm almost positive that it was fucking rage bait. I would bet money that it's rage bait. But it's still funny at the end of the day. I saw over on X somebody complaining that the Pikachus were too gendered. I'm not even kidding, bro. I'm not even kidding. They flat out were saying that the Pikachus were too gendered in their clothing. They were like, why is the male Pikachu and the female Pikachu so prototypically gendered? That's what they were trying to say. It's crazy, man. That's the world we live in, where people are worried about they, them Pikachus. Fucking crazy. Game Freak. Let's see what you got. Come on, have to finish here. Let's go. Finally. Okay. All right, well, right off the bat, the graphics are literally the same as every other Pokemon that's come out recently, so no change there. I don't think they're ever going to bump the graphics. I mean, why should they? Why should they? People got to keep buying the game, and it's always going to look the same. It's going to literally be the same. Anyway. Oh, that looked good. Okay, hold on. That looked a little better. Did they update the water graphics? Hold on. Let me look at that. Okay, that looks a lot better. The water. I don't know if this is a cinematic cutscene. I don't think it's cinematic cutscene. I think it's an in-game cutscene. So that looks a little better. That's good. But again, keep in mind, it's like, wow, they've been doing water graphics like that for like fucking 15 years. You know what I mean? If you go play Half-Life 2, water graphics look just like that. You know? But anyway, hey, I'm trying to give credit where credit's due. Like, finally, you caught up, Nintendo, on water graphics. That's good. Hey, he threw a ball. Sue him. Sue him. You can't throw up. Oh, it's Nintendo. Never mind. Are these the starters? Bro, this literally looks like Angry Birds. It looks like Angry Birds on the left, and it looks like some liberal white woman's dog on the middle. What the fuck is the one on the right? I feel like if you go to Miami and you go to like where all the rich people eat, you're gonna see a dog that looks just like this. This looks like Angry Birds and Dave and Buster's or something. You know what? What are we doing? Pokemon Winds and Pokemon Waves, was it? Wow. Oh, maybe that's why they upgraded the water graphics, is because they have a game that has, water in the title card, I guess. Bro, I miss the days where I would be excited for a brand new Pokemon game, but those days are long gone. Long gone. I mean, listen, Pokemon fans are going to love this, bro. They're going to love this. They get brand new Pokemon. They get brand new area. They get to do the same gameplay elements, most likely. And they're going to go crazy for it. They're going to go crazy for it. It's great. This game probably, what was the rumored budget for this game? Like 10 million, 10 to 15 million, 20 million at most, I think. This game's going to make gangbusters money like they always do because the budgets are super low and they sell like hotcakes. So it only looks like it belongs on a PS2. Yeah, but to be fair, Pokemon games were never about like graphical fidelity. At least not for the past 10 years, I would say. Maybe back in the day when graphics were a little more streamlined across all the consoles, but now the PlayStation, PC platform, Xbox to a degree, they're all so far ahead of what the Switch can do. It's not even funny. Like, Nintendo gave up the graphics race a long time ago. I think the last time Nintendo really advertised one of their consoles with like the graphic capabilities was GameCube. Remember with GameCube, they were. I remember seeing the trailers and reading the magazines where they were going so hard on GameCube, where they were trying to say how like Star Fox, you could actually see every strand of fur on him, which was true. I remember at the time it was insane. It was actually insane what you were able to see with those games. But yeah, I think they stopped caring. They don't really care about graphics anymore. They stick to their art style, which is fine. They stick to what they know, and they realize that by keeping the graphics down, they don't have to invest as much money in development. Keeping everything simple, they don't have to invest as much. And that way they can just focus on putting out something that seems new. And then when you buy it, you realize, oh, it's the same shit. Well, I spent $70 anyway, so that's it, Life Ferret with a membership. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Life Ferret over on Rumble. Shout out to you, my man. We got Alucard with a 2. Those Pikachus got to procreate somehow. Yeah, apparently people really did have a problem with the Pikachus, which is fucking insane to me. Like, why do we care how gendered the Pikachus are? Like, why is this even a topic of conversation? I don't understand. Somebody help me. Help me understand why this is a topic of conversation. Ron DFK with a 2. I put jalapeno powder in my morning mochas. Of course you do. Dare Soto with a 2. It looks like Pokemon Green and Pokemon Blue. Those were the days. Raza gifted a membership over on Rumble. Thank you, Raza. I appreciate that so much. You guys are killing it over on Rumble. Thank you. So anyway, we finally got to watch this, and I mean, I know Atreus is gooning. Atreus, I believe, is gooning hard for this shit. But me personally, like, I don't care. I don't care. I still don't have a Switch 2 personally for myself. I only plan to get a Switch 2 if they were going to come out with an Eternal Darkness remake. As of right now, I'm not even getting a Switch 2 in order to play the From Software what is it, Dust Bloods or whatever game. And I'm a big time From Software fan. I am not buying a Switch 2 just to buy one video game. It's not happening. I'm sorry. So like, I'm good. For the people that want to buy it, it's all good. Like, I know there's a lot of Pokemon fans out there, especially here. But yeah, I'm good personally. But hey, nice water though. nice water graphics. Eternal Darkness is never happening. Let go of that dream. I listen, I did not say it was happening. I'm just saying that it's the only reason why I would. That's what I'm saying. Hypnotic is all anti-Nintendo. We know. I'm not anti-Nintendo. I love Nintendo. I loved what Nintendo was. I don't love what Nintendo became. But I do love what Nintendo was. Unfortunately, though, modern day Nintendo is well, not exactly where I want to be. So I misgendered your Pikachu. Ouch. Sorry. Fucking high fidelity Zelda would be great. That's true. It would be. I would be curious to see if the gameplay was handled by Nintendo, but the graphics and world design was handled by somebody else who really knows what they're doing. what kind of video game could they come up with? You know, but they're never gonna do that. So, but that's basically it. All right, let's get into the final topic, which is going to be about good old God of War. Let's get into the final topic. Let me X out the Pokemon trailer. I got the Resident Evil stream all set up for after this stream, so we'll be doing that. And I titled it, you guys are going to like this. I got inspired by one of you in the stream. I titled it, Trying to Survive Crash Coon City. That's what I titled it. So hopefully that prediction does not become a reality. But, you know, we'll see how that goes anyway. Trying to Survive Crash Coon City. That's going to be a good one for sure. I haven't made it public yet, though. I'll make it public after the God of War situation. All right, let's move on. We got Rex Shop with a 2. Nintendo focuses more on lawsuits than graphics. True. They focus on gameplay and lawsuits, but what we didn't know growing up was that the lawsuits was the gameplay. That's what we didn't realize. That's what we didn't realize. So the lawsuits was the actual gameplay. You know? All right, let's get into this, boys. Let's have a good time. Talk about God of War. Let me bring up the first. Okay, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So today we're going to be talking about God of War and the upcoming video games that have been leaked, talked about, and everything from all these analysts and leakers and all this nonsense. But there's one particular big story that I want to cover, and that is the recent revelation, or the understanding, I should say, that apparently one of the new upcoming God of War video games is going to not have Kratos as the main character. Actually, there's going to be multiple God of War video games that are not going to be having Kratos as the main character. One of them is actually going to be having Faye as the main character for the video game. Now, this has caused a massive, massive stir on social media because people are discussing, like, well, what the fuck is that? Like, who would want to play? And again, I want to be very clear. The amount of disingenuous conversation that's going to surround this topic is going to be ridiculous. The amount of people that I am now all of a sudden seeing that are massive Faye fans out of nowhere, right? Like, first off, they were never Faye fans. There's nobody out there that was like, when they think of God of War, they're like, yeah, Faye was such a badass, so amazing. I can't wait to play. Nobody ever said that. They only started saying that now because, well, obviously the ideology has to be protected, right? So they're gonna suddenly pretend to care that they're all massive fans of Faye. But that's besides the point. So people are talking about this and having conversations about this, and it's a pretty big back and forth. And I'll give my own thoughts on this in a second. But apparently God of War fans have been talking to social circles worldwide to discuss claims of a new God of War game that does not feature Kratos, you know, the God of War, potentially surfacing later this year. This talking point follows the discovery of a LinkedIn tidbit by eagle-eyed fans that mentions a new franchise within the God of War universe. Now, Santa Monica Studios has made some interesting decisions, okay? And honestly, a lot of Sony studios have been making interesting decisions. If you look, a lot of Sony studios are replacing their male-dominated franchises with women. That's been their goal, it seems, for the last few years, and they're going to continue to do so. Even Naughty Dog's upcoming video game is going to feature an Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet, you know, a bald-headed space lesbian. Like, that's basically what they're trying to do. Now, if you look over here, I'm going to show you a post from Nate the Hate. Nate the Hate is a known leaker over on social media, and he says the following. He was quote tweeting a post that says, "It looks like the secret is finally out of the bag. Cory Balrog's new IP, previously rumored to be sci-fi themed, is actually an expansion of the existing God of War universe with a new franchise." And then Nate the Hate says, "Here's what I've heard. Yes, the game is set within the God of War universe, and the lead character will be Faye. Gameplay is said to differ from the Norse God of War games with more focus on action. The current plan revealed this year and released in the first half of 2027, barring any potential delays." Now, again, people are looking at this and, oh my God, the meltdown has been extreme. And I can't blame them. The meltdown has been so extreme that we have this post from William R. Aguilar, right, who is a gaming analyst, infographics, data research, financial report, person over on X. Anyway, and the meltdown has been so extreme that he made this long ass post describing exactly what's going to be going down with upcoming video games, right? So let's talk about this and see what he has to say. So he says, addressing the God of Elephants in the room, God of War will continue with Kratos. The next official mainline God of War game will have Kratos as the main character. Okay, stop right there. So God of War 3, which we know that they're working on, is going to be focused on Kratos. He's going to be the main character. He's seemingly trying to say that anything that is a numerical entry, meaning an actual mainline video game, is going to be focused on Kratos. At least that's what he's saying. Whether or not that's true or not, who really knows? This game that has not yet been announced is a spin-off. It will not be called God of War. The title of the game will reflect the fact that it's a spin-off. Now, I got to be honest with you guys. I hope that's the case, but I'll be real with you. Knowing Sony, I just don't believe how that's the case, right? I believe that, yeah, you can name it Faye, the goddess of war or something, a God of War story. I think that they're going to have God of War in the title in some way, shape, or form, because they know, I know, you know, and their mother knows that they're not going to be able to sell this game without the attachment of the name God of War. If they come out with this character and it doesn't have any attachment to a previous established franchise, there's no way this game is going to sell, right? There's just no way. They have to attach the name God of War to the title in some way, shape, or form. So even if they try to spin the name and make it a spin-off, at the end of the day, God of War is going to be in the title one way or another. And then he says, similarly, if Atreus is a solo main character of a game, it will also be a spin-off. They are not replacing Kratos. Again, you could say they're not replacing Kratos, but then they're coming up with God of War video games that don't feature Kratos when people want to play as Kratos. People would rather have more Kratos. That's the whole point of God of War. Without Kratos, there is no God of War. He's the actual God of War. Anyway, the next mainline God of War game is in development. There are multiple teams in Santa Monica working on more than one game at a time, not including the Greek trilogy remakes. This upcoming game with Faye will play similar to Bayonetta. Now, again, Bayonetta. Okay. Fantastic video game, by the way. But Bayonetta, really, with Faye in God of War universe, like, I hate to give David Jaffe, credit in one of the things he said, but he said something that the Chuds have been saying for the longest time. And that quite simply is, who the fuck is this made for? Who actually said and sat down with these people and said, we want a God of War video game without the God of War? Who said that? Who said that? Nobody has ever said that. Nobody has ever said, yep, that's what we want from God of War, which is less God of War. Nobody has ever said that, right? So that's where I sit and I wonder, like, okay, so if this is not made for the people who are fans of God of War, then who is this made for? That's the other question. That's always the next question that's going to be asked, right? I usually do not comment on details. Well, hold on, I skipped something. It says, the upcoming game with Faye will play similar to Bayonetta. Many questions concerning how much she knew and her overall plans leading into the next mainline God of War game will be explained in this spinoff. It will provide context to the past and connect to the future. So basically, they're going to take out the ambiguous nature of Faye and they're going to make her the key to everything. That's really what it is. Come on, let's be real. Let's be real. They're going to make her the key to everything. They're going to make her the entire reason why everything happened, the way that it happened. She was a secret. Like, they'll come up with some crazy fucking story to make her the key to everything. I usually don't comment on details of yet to be announced games, but I provide hints and allusions to unannounced games that are specific enough so that when you look back at the hints, it proves that my sources are accurate. So basically, you vague post to the point where you can almost never be wrong, right? Is that what I'm understanding? We have to do it like this because when we analysts are provided information, it is given in confidence that it won't leak. I am not an anonymous leaker, and I'm not an official journalist. Journalists have additional protections when they leak things. Leakers are either anonymous or journalists, and that's how they're protected from lawsuits. If anonymous leakers are caught, they risk losing their sources, being fired, and or lawsuits. I work full-time for the government in financial analysis and security consulting, but for over a decade, I've also been working part-time as a video game industry analyst as a side gig career because this is the hobby that I love. the industry I know the most about and the one I enjoy doing research on. When it comes to the video game industry, information that is given to me and other analysts is almost always given under the promise that it will not be leaked, but we can use it to build models and have an accurate understanding of financial data and projections to provide to potential clients, investors, executives, as well as to explain misunderstandings and correct misinformation to the general consumer public. So you're, what are you, like damage control? I am only explaining the details of this yet to be announced game because the cat is out of the bag and people are running with narratives and misinformation has become too large to ignore. But how is it misinformation? How is it misinformation to say that there's going to be another God of War game without the God of War? Just because you name it something different doesn't mean that it's not a God of War video game. It's in the God of War universe. So you are literally making a video game in the God of War universe without the God of War. So then the question still remains, who is this game for and why are you making it? Who asked for a game with the lead character being Faye or anyone else for that matter, right? Even Atreus, I can't imagine many people wanted to play as Atreus. I feel like they might want to play as an adult Atreus. Maybe, if you're lucky, they might want to experiment with that, right? And see how that becomes a thing. Especially since you spent 2 fucking video games playing Dad Kratos to Atreus. So naturally, people would say, okay, but what about an adult, like a young adult Atreus? How does that look, right? But to play as Faye, like who was asking for that? I don't know if anybody was asking. And then you'll gaslight people and you'll say, well, you know, you just don't like women. How the fuck are you still saying this in 2026 with all the female-led video games that have been successful over the last 10 years, even longer than that? How are you still saying this, bro? In 2026, when Stellar Blade was one of the #1 selling video games for Sony, by the way, on the PC platform and in general, and you're going to be like, people don't like female characters? It's because what happens is you guys know exactly what the problem is, but you want to misrepresent the problem. You want to disingenuously converse about the problem, and you don't actually want to address the problem. You rather deflect for the problem in order to make it seem like the problem is everybody else except for the people that are actually making the decision that people have a problem with. Does that make sense? Which is essentially, you're making a God of War game without the God of War. That sounds really stupid. I don't know who that's for. And then they'll say, well, it's not for you. Well, gee, once you start saying that, we kind of know where that goes. The truth is that they have no faith in these characters. They have no faith in their ability to tell an interesting story with a female-led character. Very little faith in that. Other people have to do that. Usually Eastern studios have to do it for them because they're the only ones who are capable of doing it. So what they do is they take female characters that are in well-established male-dominated franchises and they try to prop them up and give them their own video games that nobody asked for. And then the moment you say, well, that sounds really stupid, I'm not interested, they begin the brigade of, well, you're a misogynist, you're a sexist, you're this, you're that, and they hope that that scares you off and scares other people from criticizing the game. When you have every fucking right to criticize why they're making this decision in the first place. Even some of the biggest lefties that I know, I'm looking at you, David Jaffe, even you know this is probably fucking stupid. Just like you said that the Sons of Sparta was stupid. So it's like you already know that this is stupid, but they're doing it anyway. And they're utilizing the name in order to sell it, because without the name, they can't sell it. Right? There's no interest in it. Nobody's looking at this like, yep, this is what I want. There's no interest in it whatsoever. But anyway, so then he says that I understand that there is a lot of political discourse on the concern of how certain things have been handled in the video games industry. I recommend that people remember that if it looks like a duck and sounds like a duck and acts like a duck, it's probably a duck, but not everyone that sounds like a duck is actually a duck. What? Bro, Ghost of Yote didn't deserve the type of criticism it got where a game like Dragon Age Veilguard did. And if you like my explanation as to why, you can read my post here. It absolutely did, because Ghost of Yote is in the same predicament as God of War, but lesser so, right? Because Ghost of Yote only had one established video game with Jin in Ghost of Tsushima. Now, granted, that was one of the biggest video games that they've ever had on PlayStation, so it's pretty substantial. But yes, in terms of established lore and history, God of War has many video games prior that established Kratos as the God of War and the character that people want to play as. Right, so Dragon Age Veilguard, everybody knows where we stand on that video game. We were proven right on that video game. But with Ghost of Yote, it's still the same thing. They decided to not go with Jin, even though we all knew that they were going to go with Jin in the beginning. There was even rumors of them supposedly going with Jin in the beginning and then changing it a year or two into it and decided to go with Atsu. That was their whole thing. So it's the same exact scenario where they couldn't sell a female-led video game without the established franchise that the male dominated in. Anyway, for this game, all I ask is that you trust Corey Balrog and his team. If there are criticisms to be had, make them when the game comes out, or at least when it's officially shown to the public. Yes, some game ideas are just bad in premise and should be called out before they are shown to the public, but let's be reasonable on this one. The premise of a spin-off game focusing on Faye is not such a bad idea. It's a terrible idea. It's an absolutely terrible idea. Because now you're going to go into the past and you're going to fuck with things that are already pre-established with people that don't have the respect for the source material that they're going to be co-opting, and then they're going to make it into something so retarded that it's going to end up ruining the future of the video games and also the video games that have already come out in the first place. It's going to ruin it. I'm telling you, they're going to make her the key to everything, and they're going to completely cut Kratos, bro. Like, no, absolutely not. It's a stupid idea, and anybody with a brain can think that this is probably a stupid idea, right? If you want to name it something else, name it something else. But at the very least, I will concede at to not naming it God of War. If you can name it something else, fine. Do whatever the fuck you want. Just don't ruin the God of War franchise. But honestly, I really think that's kind of impossible at this point. Then he says, when it comes to politics, it's important to remember Sony, PlayStation, and its company that flows with the direction of swinging of the pendulum. And this is true of almost all companies, but it will always try to remain legal and respectful to all people on both sides of the political spectrum. No, it's not. Are you out of your mind? You were right on the legal aspect because they don't want to get in trouble, but respectful? These are the people who were literally celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. You want to talk about respectful? Get the fuck out of here, bro. They probably protest in their part-time and they join Antifa and go raid a bunch of targets and go steal TVs in the name of black people. They're not respectful. They're not respectful in any way, bro. Have you seen how they act on social media? Get out of here, bro. You're out of your mind. Why do you think they fired that girl over at what do you call the Ghost Yote studio? Why do you think that happened? It's insane, bro. Anyway, and then they said that it doesn't tolerate the celebration of political violence. It literally did. Now, granted, they did fire her, but it took a massive uprising to get her fired. If it wasn't for the massive uprising, do you think they would have fired her for celebrating political violence? Of course not. Companies like Sony and PlayStation make products and games that are meant to be enjoyed by people on both sides of the political spectrum, but not every game will speak to you, and that's okay. It's interesting that you say this because the developers behind these games are actively telling people that they're either racist, misogynist, bigots, homophobes, transphobes. Don't play my game. If you don't like it, don't play it. Like all kinds of stuff. They're actively telling people this. And you're over here saying that Sony, which it might be true, Sony as the company Sony might be trying to stay politically out of it, but the people that are working for that company and the studios that are making the games, they're not doing that. They're not doing that at all. They're actively out here telling you exactly what they believe and exactly what they think. All right. One of the voice actresses even said she's Antifa. She's actively Antifa. So they're out here telling you exactly what they are. I don't think they're politically, neutral in the slightest. When it comes to PlayStation, I trust Ishino. So, and then he made an addendum where it says, Atreus may have his own games or be a dual protagonist with Kratos in God of War games. If it's a game with Atreus by himself, the title will reflect that it's a spinoff. This next game will be a big game. When I say spinoff, I don't mean that it'll be small. You could have multiple big coexisting franchises set in the same universe. Usually when people say spinoff, they mean a smaller side game, but that doesn't always have to be the case. Much like how Persona is a spinoff of the Shin Megami Tensei series. If this game is the beginning of a big new franchise, it will not preclude the continued existence of God of War games, where Kratos is either the main or dual main character. Yeah, I don't see how a supposed God of War video game with Faye is going to be a big franchise running alongside the God of War franchise, unless you tie the name God of War to it, which I really do believe they're going to do. I think there is almost no way that they announce a Faye video game where she is the lead character and they don't utilize the name God of War. They're absolutely going to use God of War in some aspect in order to push the sales of the game. Otherwise, people are going to look at this game, have no idea what the fuck it is, and they're going to say, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, why would I want to play God of War without Kratos? So they're going to do that. I really think they're going to do it. In any case, guys, this is a pretty interesting scenario. Lots of conversation about this game and future games. And like I said, I've been pretty clear on it. I don't want to see a God of War video game without Kratos. I think that's kind of dumb. I would have loved to see maybe some side projects, some side games with Kratos in different avenues. We got the side-scrolling game, Sons of Sparta. That game looked pretty fucking mid. A lot of people didn't like that game. Some people did, but maybe we could have got something a little bit different with a little more time invested. You know, explore, right? But now you want to explore with different characters and make them into main characters. I just don't know if that's the best way to go with the God of War franchise. It is so specifically about one particular person, the God of War Kratos. I don't see how that's going to work out. But in any case, you guys let me know in the comments down below. Comment on this video. Tell me what you think about the potential of these video games. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's in the middle? Will you play them? Just let me know. Comment. Otherwise, your view doesn't count. That makes me very sad. And, you know, you don't want to make me sad. Don't make me sad. All right? Don't make me cry. Let me catch up on supers. We got Alucard with a 2. That's not true. We don't like American women. All right. That's fair. That's fair. Panther with a 2. Trust is earned, not given. You haven't earned it. That's also fair. Dare Soto with a 5. These people in the industry are trying to make females like the secret chosen one, and we're seeing pattern recognition from movies and video games. I mean, listen, a lot of people are praising Resident Evil 9 right now, right? Look what they did with Resident Evil 9. Grace, she's the chosen one. After 9 mainline series games, she's the chosen one. She was the one that they were always looking for. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, everybody, they're all doing it. They're all doing it. The key, that's why, like, the entire meme about, like, the key to everything when it comes to a female character, it's a meme, but it's the truth. And it's a thing for a reason. It's because that's what they do. They do it all the time. The moment they introduce a female character nobody's ever seen, she's got to be the key to everything. She's got to be the one that it's like, that's always how it goes, you know? So I can't sit here and pretend to be shocked. I don't think anybody should sit here and pretend to be shocked if that happens with God of War, you know? I don't know. This shit is crazy, man. Crazy stuff. Big L. Yeah, I know. They're trying to recenter. They're trying to recenter franchises around this or that woman. Yeah, 100%. 100%. They are trying. Again, it's so funny that the people that don't have respect for the source material, they will suddenly pay attention to the lore if they can find a woman or some like androgynous character that they can utilize to take over the franchise. Then all of a sudden, now they're paying attention. Now they're like, whoa, Faye, technically was this, technically was that. They'll pull out all the ass pulls just to justify why they're deciding to do it. It's the same with Ubisoft and Yasuke. Ubisoft was literally surrounded by dozens, if not tens of dozens, right? Dozens of fucking samurai that existed around the time of Nobunaga that they could have utilized as a mainline character if they wanted to. And they literally were covering their eyes until somebody whispered in their ear, Yasuke, Black Samurai. Then all of a sudden their eyes open. They're like, oh, we found our samurai. It's like, oh, wow, okay. Oh, wow, yeah, no, he was the one that you genuinely want. Yeah, that makes so much sense. Just ass pulling, bro. That's all they do. They just ass pull. Non-stop fucking ass pull. It's crazy. Anyway. All right, boys, listen. Shout out to you guys. Fantastic stream. Awesome topics. Great conversation. Hope you guys had a great time. I am linking now in both chats the stream to Resident Evil 9 Requiem. We are going to try to continue our review tonight. Hopefully not crash. That's why I titled it Trying to Survive Crash Coon City, because we all know what happened the last 2 streams. But check that out, that stream. If you're not going to hang out with us for the Waifu Battle, we are nowhere near tier 1. We are absolutely nowhere near tier 2. So we got to try to have a strong Waifu Battle. Otherwise, RIP tiers, which is fine. Thank you guys so much for your support today. I appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who hung out with us. I appreciate you. And go watch my video from today if you don't want to wait for the stream. I have a video that went live today. Go check it out, please. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And that's it. That's basically it. I'll see you guys on the next one. For those of you hanging out with the Waifu Battle, let's fucking go. Let's do our thing. Let's have some fun. Here we go. Guys, am I playing Resident Evil after this? Am I playing Resident Evil after this, guys? Am I playing Resident Evil 9 after this? The waifu battle's here, boys. The waifu battle is here. Now, if you guys missed the last waifu battle, it was an interesting one. It was an interesting one, to say the least. But shockingly, we have a brand new champion. Yes, Mai ended up losing, which was kind of crazy, to be honest with you. I almost didn't expect that to happen, especially to this particular challenger, but it did happen. It did happen. Mai ended up losing, and now we have a brand new champion who is none other than the one and the only Jury from Street Fighter, ladies and gentlemen. It was insane. Insane. I really didn't think Mai was going to lose. I didn't think Mai was going to lose at all, but I mean, there we go. So in any case, let's go over the rules, and then we're going to get into the content with the good old challenger. Hold on. We got Tiger King with a 189. I despise God of War since 2005. It always sucked. Guys, Tiger King despises something. And water is wet. Shout out to Tiger King. Panther with a 2. Are you playing at 12:30? Yes. I'm going to be playing about an hour and 15 minutes from now. So there you go. For those of you guys that want to time it. All right, boys. Waifu battles here. Let's go over the rules of engagement, and then we're going to bring out the challenger. All right. Rule number 1. All super chats during the waifu battle can and will count towards a particular waifu. But the only way it's going to count is if you put the name of the waifu in the super chat first. You got to put the name first. If you do not put the name of the waifu in the super chat first, it will not count. It does not matter how big they are. If you super chat after the fact and you put the name of the waifu that you forgot to put the first time first, then I will make it count. Rule number 2. You could vote for any waifu regardless of who's on the screen. It doesn't matter. You can vote for the champion, who is Jury, or you can vote for the challenger, who you're about to find out. It doesn't matter who's on screen at the time. Last but not least, after the second waifu comes off screen, I'm going to do a 30-second countdown. After that 30-second countdown, no more super chats are going to count. It doesn't matter how big they are. The last super chat that shows up on my screen is going to be the one that counts. So please, if you're going to vote, vote early and vote hard, ladies and gentlemen. Do we understand the rules? There is no understanding of the rules. Let's be real, boys. All right, listen, today's challenger, considering the style of Jury and considering that we're on like a fighting, kick right now, no pun intended, I figured that I would bring out a certain challenger that some of you guys asked for, because I just think they mesh well. I think both of these, girls mesh well. And I think that it will be fun to see who could win in this scenario. All right, boys. The challenger is going to go up against Jury. Is going to be none other than the one and the only glorious Ivy from Soul Calibur, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start the clock and let's see who is going to win. Is it going to be Jury or is it going to be Ivy? Let me know in the super chats below. The name is on the bottom. Let's find out. We got Soul Calibur versus Street Fighter. That's got to count for something, boys. If you like whips and chains, you should be voting for you-know-who. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Tiger King says Jury's disgusting. I despise her hair. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? Shit, man. She was my OG main. Well, there you go. There you go. Gotta make it a thing, boys. Gotta make it a thing. Come on, let's go. Otherwise, tears are gone. Ready to say goodbye. Vote Ivy or you're a beta, according to Democulus. That's crazy, bro. That is crazy. He's like, either you are into BDSM or you're into foot fetishes. Either or, that's what you're voting for. Kiera Lunar with a 2 Juries. She is my Street Fighter 6 main. Gotta support her. I do like Jury in Street Fighter. I think she's amazing. She really is a good character. I'm not even trolling. Mr. Melancholy with a 2 says Ivy with the triple S tier gods. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We got Raza with a 10 says Ivy for reasons. Thank you. Thank you, Raza. I appreciate that. That's a big Ivy vote. Immediately makes her out of ban territory. And then we got BioT Wolf with a $20 banger says Ivy, I will take the whips over feet. I was hoping that you would probably say that, my man. I was hoping you would probably say that. Shout out to BioT Wolf for a massive $20 banger. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Every bit helps right now. Thank you, sir. Ivy's got a big lead. She's got a big lead, but it's nothing that can't come back from. Torinol with a 5 says Panda. The choice is clear. That is a much-needed $5 super chat going to absolutely nobody. Unbelievable, boys. Unfucking believable. Why am I not surprised? Thank you, Torinol. I appreciate that. Kiara Ludar says also, when it comes to Soul Calibur, I don't play the OG roster. I always play with the custom characters, so I don't play Ivy. I use the soul of Ivy. All right, that's fair. That's definitely fair. We got Democulus with a 5 for Ivy over on Rumble. Best waifu from classic fighter game history. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I hope that's the only thing you're putting. Shout out to Democulus. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that, my man. I appreciate that. What a legend, bro. So far, Ivy has a pretty decent lead. Why does she have 5 fingers and no thumb? Because AI was more focused on her tits than her finger. So, you know, you kind of have to take the W's when you can. And I guess that's one of them, you know? It's kind of one of them. We'll see. Hey, at least it nailed the outfit correctly. AI was overwhelmed. Exactly. Jury's in ban territory, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to have Ivy come off the screen right now. And now it is time to bring out the current Waifu Battle champion, who is none other than the psychopath known as Jury. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start the clock and let's see who is going to win this one. Is it going to be Jury or is it going to be Ivy? Let's find out. You got Secret Final Boss with a 2. Says Sonia Lisette, hiya girl, ×3. That's crazy, bro. That is crazy, bro. What are we doing? What are we doing? Not surprised. You could fix her? Ivy's got this hands down. You think so, huh? Now the people who voted for Ivy are Thorn. Makes sense. T-Jab says we're $75 away from just tier 1. I'm going to say it. Today's the day, boys. R.I.P. I'm saluting. You can't see this, but I'm saluting. Well fought, boys. Well fought. To the daughter of the pirate Cervantes de Leon. Shout out to Dark Mages. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Ivy's got a big lead right now. Ivy's got a huge fucking lead right now. Jury needs all the help she can get. Otherwise, she might just be banned. Is Jury even past the ban point? Sonia says, what the fuck did you say? What did I say? What did I say? You turned from your mic. Oh, I'm sorry. I said RIP to the tiers. I said I was saluting that we had a good run. Jury has $1.42. Bro, Jury's going to get banned? That's crazy. That's crazy. $1.42 for Jury is crazy, bro. Oh, you couldn't hear me? Sorry. Alucard with a 5 for Jury, baby. Shout out to Alucard. Thank you so much for the 5. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Deadeye's Lock says summoning tier support and jury no ban. Well, jury now only needs about like $3 to avoid the ban. So, oh, there you go. Secret Final Boss with a 10 says jury. That pick sold her. All right. That's got to count for something. There you go. There you go. She's not going to get banned anymore. So that's good. That's good. BioT Wolf with a $75 mega banger for Ivy. Just to save tier 1. Holy shit. What a fucking legend, bro. Out of nowhere. $75 mega banger for Ivy, putting her in a pretty big lead. That's a pretty big lead, but still possible. Tier 1 has officially been saved. Thank you, BioT Wolf. What a legend, man. Kiara Lunar with a 20 says, jury, I liked her ultra combos, my favorite being from USF4 and Street Fighter 6. All the kicking combos and rapid pressuring, and this is to hopefully get her off the ban. Well, you succeeded. You succeeded. She's out of the ban. All you guys got her off the ban. Fallen Angel with a 10 says, jury and Ivy 50-50 split. Hypno, I have a pick of both I can send you. Also, Tekken waifus. You never know. At some point, we're in a little bit of a fighting kick right now. Abhorrent Soul gifting 1 membership over on Rumble. Thank you, Abhorrent Soul. I appreciate that, my man. Fucking badass, bro. Thank you so much. Oh!
Holy shit.
Holy fuck. Trey Burkhalter with a $200 Red Boy Ultimate Hyper Banger. He says, jury, now freak you rules in Tifa, Warhammer Girls and Goblins. Oh my God. Jury's now in the lead. This is insane. Final countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. We're waiting. And that's it.
Waifu Battle Belt is mine!
Trey Burkhalter scared off everybody with a $200 Red Boy Ultimate Hyper Banger. And he successfully saved tier 2 all on his own with that massive dono, getting us over the hump at the last second. And now he wants Warhammer Girls and Goblins. We got to give him what he wants, man. He just dropped a fucking insane banger.
All right, boys, we have another Red Boy Hyper Banger. Let's bring the ladies in!
Shout out to Trey dropping that insane $200 Red Boy fucking hyperbanger, bro. Shout out to you, my man. That's insane, bro. Thank you so much for saving us again, putting the tears on BioT Wolf, all you guys, man. Holy fuck. I appreciate you very much. That was very close. I literally saluted off camera. I was like, that's it, boys. We are saying goodbye. It is over. T-Jab coming in here says Ivy was at $122 flat against Jury at $235.61, which means that the winner and still Waifu Battle champion is none other than the one and the only Jury, ladies and gentlemen. Street Fighter beat Soul Calibur today. I'm sure that's going to make some Soul Calibur fans not happy, but that's okay. Let's do it one more time, boys. One more time. Let's go. That was crazy. You got paid. There's definitely coping and seething happening right now.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
And that's going to be it for the Waifu Battle, ladies and gentlemen. Jury's going to go backstage. She will face off against another waifu tomorrow. Hypnocast, 9 p.m. Eastern. Do not miss it, boys. 9 p.m. Come hang out with us. Do not miss it. We always have a good time here. All right, guys, listen. I think we're caught up on everything. Thank you guys so much for the insane support today. I appreciate it. I hope every single one of you had a ton of fun. As always, we are going to go rate ourselves now over on Griffcast for Hypnotic Gaming Live, where we're going to try to play Resident Evil 9 in about less than an hour. So join us over there. And in the meantime, thank you, everybody, for liking, commenting, spamming the chat, super chatting, gifting memberships, everything. I appreciate it. And, of course, shout out to the Hypno Mods for doing what they do every single day. I appreciate you as well. And I will see every single one of you on the next one, whether it's tonight or whatever, it doesn't matter. Until then, I'm going to put the link in the chat right now for the stream. Go be bigots and go be gooners. Bye.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men. And I got news for you. That means you get.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Her dog, or her cat, was named Vagina.
black man. I bring light. I bring light. I bring light. I bring light. I bring light.